And we welcome you with live looks at the brand new, yet to be officially named even, Saddleback Stadium as we usher in a new season of 3C2A football on SoCalCollegeSports.com with a matchup tonight between the Saddleback College Bobcats and the visiting Glendale College Vaqueros. Hello, everybody. I am Jeff Stoynoff, joined by Saddleback Sports Information Director Brad Hoyseth. And Brad, great to have you here, and had an opportunity to talk to both coaches this week, and I know that you have obviously been right alongside the Saddleback Bobcats as they prepare for this season, and perhaps fitting that the backdrop here is a brand new stadium because everything is new after a year without football. These are two teams loaded with freshmen after essentially a double recruiting class with no season.
Yeah, it's essentially a new era. I mean, you have a new coaching staff, or a new head coach anyways. You got a new stadium. You got a new nickname, mascot for the team. So people are pretty excited. I mean, this is the biggest thing that they've been waiting for. We haven't played a football game on campus, by the way, for 1,395 days. I did the math on that. I'm a Cal State Fullerton guy. I can figure it out. I don't have that many fingers or anything, but, I figured it out.
1,395 days. I'm doing some quick math in my head, and
almost 4 years.
Right, that is, that's 3+. I'd gotten that far. I know that. If my ability to read the signals for the toss is right, Glendale won the toss, elected to defer, so the Bobcats will have the ball first. We're in the new, obviously beautiful press box here, air-conditioned rooms, climate control, I believe, is the fancy name, but. And another very, very warm day giving way to a still warm evening here. It's nice to be in the climate control here, but we are still moments away from the opening kick. And the Bobcats, it's Kerry Crabb who takes over in a first season after a number of years with the program, working under Mark McElroy, who recently retired. And Coach Crabb, there will be some differences, but some similarities as well. Has he talked a little bit about what you might see?
He's kept things pretty close to the vest. The thought is that, they might have a little more depth up front, be a little bit bigger. Maybe we'll see a little bit more running. There have been some years where we threw the ball 40, 45 times a game. So, just have to wait and see. We're all kind of in this for the first time ourselves.
Yeah, Mark McElroy is in the greatest show on turf type territory sometimes in the way they like to do. You think back to 2019 and the unbelievable season of Chance Nolan, just a fantastic season that saw him have nearly, I believe, 5,000 yards combined between, between passing and rushing. It'll be interesting to see what tweaks that Kerry Crabb makes offensively and defensively on this program, but also you would expect that there's going to be a little bit more of the same here as, again, with this program for so many years.
Yeah, it's exciting times. I mean, they've had a couple of high school games in here so far, but we're all just kind of waiting to see what the new product looks like. Kerry's been around here a long time, so I think there's probably going to be a lot of things that are very similar to what we've seen in the past. At the same time, he's his own man. He's his own coach.
Yep.
He's going to determine his own fate. So, we'll just have to wait and see. But, I know they're excited about the team. They had a lot of kids want to come out and play this year.
Yeah.
They made a final cut down. I think they got 96 guys on the roster right now. A lot of freshmen, but I think they believe there are a lot of talented freshmen out there.
Yeah, just to underscore the lot of freshmen that we're talking about here. On this team, there are a grand total of 2 players on the offensive side of the ball who have played a snap of college football.
Yeah,
so that is a very young team, and it is why when we spoke with Kerry Crabb this week, you could talk about the preseason ranking, the historical success of the Bobcats as you see them getting ready to take the field, and here they come. And you talk about the success that they've had, the ranking that they bring to the table, but Kerry Crabb said, hey, this is a team with a lot of question marks. We are not going into this with the thought of where we are. 2 players that have played even a single snap of college football. We're going to find out a lot about ourselves tonight as well.
Yeah, no question about it. I think they're getting ready for the national anthem. Team ran on, as you saw there. New look helmets with the S on them.
Indeed, and it is Saddleback in the maroon jerseys with the yellow helmets, and we will step aside for the national anthem. We welcome you back to Saddleback Stadium, moments away from kickoff here of the 2021 season after a year without football. A close to full slate of games, still some hiccups throughout the 3C2A, but a lot of action already underway today, and certainly a great deal more tonight. The Bobcats will receive after the Vaqueros deferred on the opening kick. Samuel Hicks retreating deep along with Darius Maxwell to receive the opening kickoff. And Andrew Kazanian, who will handle both the kicking and the punting for the Vaqueros, has it teed up, and we are ready to go. We talked a lot about Saddleback in the lead up here. We will also get to Glendale, who's got their own little story to tell coming into 2021. It's Maxwell who will take it from the 8. Out to the 15, 20, 25, looking for a lane, and he's tripped up at about the 27. And that is where the Bobcats will get it going with the opening drive. To the 15,
I guess we'll
20,
all find
25,
out now
looking
what
for a
we're
lane,
going
and
to
he's
get.
tripped
I
up.
mean, are they going to come out running the ball? They're going to come out throwing? It's the big mystery. It's the beginning of the 2021 season, and what kind of team is this going to be? It all starts right here.
Well, Kerry Crabb did impart that at least the plan at some level is to try and run the ball more. They want to establish run. They feel the feeling being that if they're going to compete at the very top against those very top teams in the 3C2A, that you're going to have to be able to run the football when you need to against good run defenses, and that's I think the idea of where they're building. We'll see how they start out. They keep it on the ground on first down, breaking a tackle and finding some running room on the right side, and still going at the 40, 35, 30. It's Wimmer at the 20, 15, 10. He is going to go for the touchdown on the first play from scrimmage, 73 yards.
That's a pretty good start right there, huh, fellas?
Right? Well, running the ball seems to be working so far, and it was Wimmer who avoided a tackle right at the line and then found some daylight and did the rest himself.
Wimmer's one of those guys. He came in, played at San Diego Mesa in 2019, didn't really know what they were getting, gave him a few rips in practice, said, hey, we think this guy might be pretty good. First carry goes the distance, right?
19 seconds on the drive. Well, now let's correct that. 17 seconds, 14:43 to go. We are just underway. And what a start for the Bobcats as Andrew Wimmer takes the handoff and goes 73 yards for the touchdown. Kaplan on for the extra point.
Interesting scoring on Kaplan. His father, pretty popular radio announcer down in the San Diego area. Scott Kaplan. Have you heard of Scott Kaplan? Billy Ray Smith, right?
Billy Ray Smith, yeah.
Exactly. I believe that's his father.
He seems to be on his way.
Hopefully he's not listening to us, Jeff.
Right. Hey, there's a chance it's happening here. As Scott gets ready for the extra point, they will put it down at the 15. Snap, placement down, kick is up. And Kaplan puts it through. And the Bobcats with a 7-0 lead with just 14:43 remaining here in the first quarter.
You know, I'm the sports information director. I'm supposed to know all the stats. I'm not sure. I would imagine that's the quickest a new head coach has ever taken to score. I'm going to take a guess and say that's
you're ready to step out on a limb,
record,
and
yeah.
I think you're on the right track there.
They've only had like 5 head coaches ever, so assuming that somebody didn't run back a kick, I'm thinking that's probably the quickest touchdown in school history to start a coaching career.
And we did have an opportunity to talk to Tanner Farwell this week, the interim head coach in his first season at Glendale, and as I say, he's got a story to tell as well, talking about his start 4 weeks after he was initially hired as the interim coach. That's when COVID came about, started to scuttle some of the athletic programs, and just 4 weeks into his tenure as the interim head coach, the Vaquero football program was down to 17 players. So he went to work during the pandemic, full-time recruiting to replenish his roster, and he has done so, trying to get the Vaqueros back on track after a 2-7 record in 2019. But this is a tough assignment, but one that obviously they welcome. And he says, listen, we got a lot of question marks about this team. We brought in some guys. We think we got a lot of talent here. But similar to what Saddleback is facing, it's a lot of inexperienced players making the leap from high school. But he says, hey, this is probably the toughest opponent we're going to see all year, but we want to start as tough as we can and see where we are and see what we can build from there.
Yeah, it's really one of those things, Jeff, where these teams weren't even scheduled to play 6 weeks ago.
Yep.
And people forget Saddleback was supposed to play at LA Southwest. LA Southwest had a lack of players, so they had to close down their program this year anyways. Glendale is supposed to play LA Southwest in week 2, so those two teams just got together, Glendale and Saddleback, and said, you know what, let's just play our first game against one another.
We're going to go back and give you one more look at the run by Wimmer. And you see here, near trouble in the backfield on the initial exchange, but a good little move from Wimmer, and then gets to the near sideline, turns on the Jets. They're not going to catch him. And that is interesting because that is pretty much a scouting report of Andrew Wimmer right there, which is he runs generally between the tackles. He's a good hard runner. But if he gets to the second level as they look deep for Nick Johnson and it's just out of reach, but if Wimmer gets to that second level, you're not going to catch him. That's the book we got, and it looks that way from what we could see so far.
Yeah, I tell you what, Nick Johnson had a step right there.
Yep.
I mean, they almost answered the call on their first play.
And that is fitting with the scouting report that we got from head coach Tanner Farwell, which is, hey, we understand what we're up against here, but we're here to be aggressive. We're here to get after it, and we're going to take our shots, particularly on offense, and we feel like we can put some points on the board here. And they took the shot right there, and he had Johnson. Did Garcia as now trouble with the snap, and he is swallowed up in the backfield. That'll go down as a sack. It was Colborn coming off the edge who will get credit for the sack after trouble on the snap, and the Vaqueros face an immediate 3rd and long back at their own 23. It'll be 3rd and 15.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether or not that was a snap problem or whether that was a drop football problem there. It looked like it hit him in the hands, like maybe he just started looking downfield before he had the ball.
Well, both offensive lines, as you would expect, very inexperienced. There are a couple of sophomores on the Vaqueros side, but that is going to be a big question mark. Garcia on the run, leaping attempt, and the interception is made by Figgins. Corvin Figgins coming down with that football. It'll be out near midfield. Looks like they're going to spot it just on the Vaquero side at the 49.
Boy, what a start for Saddleback. First play from scrimmage, you get a touchdown. First series on defense, you get an interception. You couldn't ask for a better recipe right there.
Yeah, that's a great job as Figgins reading that football and goes up high, shows good hands. Not every defensive back can boast that, but Corvin Figgins able to come down with the football, and they'll spot it at midfield. So the second drive for the Bobcats, they have very good field position. They already lead at 7-0. Barely had time to talk about freshman quarterback Drew Nash, I should say, who takes over for Chance Nolan. Again on the ground and a pickup of about 5 yards to the 45.
Well, I can tell you this right now. If they keep getting 73 on one play and 5 on another, they're going to keep running the football. I know Kerry Crabb, and he's one of those kind of guys,
This is maybe the quickest that we've ever talked about a player starting to approach 100 yards, but Wimmer already at 78 yards and 2 carries. And he is in the deep eye behind Nash, running right, running room again, slips out of a tackle at the 40, and they'll force him out of bounds at the 37. That's 8 more yards for Wimmer.
We really wish we could give you a view of this entire press box. I mean, right next to us we got the Jimmy Petkin party going on, one of the great Saddleback football players of all time. And, there's 10, 12 people that got a private party room. I mean, it's just a crazy building for a community college.
Well, not surprisingly, it's a beautiful facility that they've been working on, getting it done and able to finish it up and unveiling it here tonight. This is the first game at the new venue. Wimmer hit in the backfield and dropped, no gain on the play. And it was Garcia who led the charge, Richie Garcia from his linebacker spot.
If anybody was ever questioning what kind of offense it's going to be, Andrew Wimmer's gotten the ball, 4 or 5 times in a row now to start the game?
Yeah, and as you alluded to moments ago, I mean, if it's working, why go away from it? And Kerry Crabb wants to try and instill this mindset that they will commit to running the football.
Yeah, if you stuff the run against them, then it's going to open up things downfield in the passing game.
2nd and 10, and they definitely have playmakers once again at the receiver spot. Good protection initially for Nash, goes over the middle and completes. This is Yasir Berry, who slips through a couple of tackles. He's still on his feet, No signal yet. He's in for the touchdown.
Yeah,
Yasir Berry tiptoeing the near sideline.
all question is whether or not he stepped out. It kind of looks like the official is thinking maybe he did. It was very close.
Right there, and it's just out of our frame. In fact, maybe we even can. I'm on. See
Boy,
there.
it
It's
is
certainly
close.
inside the 5. He didn't, but it's right there. That step before. We're going to get a great look at it here. This is a great job, Mike Zapata and our production team, and
Mike Cepeda's saying that there's green grass.
I see it. I think he's in. Yep, I think it's a great call.
I think the officials see otherwise, though.
We give you a view. Wow. So they're going to take it off the board. I'll tell you, the initial signal was that was a touchdown for Berry on the first pass for Drew Nash. But let's see. Perhaps while we're talking about this and looking at this, they're all the way back at the 30-yard line. So this may be a situation where the play was nullified. Right about there at about the 10 is where he maybe caught a little bit of the sideline. All for naught. It's 2nd and 4 at the Glendale 31. So trying to catch up on what the call was there, as that play was obviously brought back. Sweeping to the near side is Wimmer, and he's forced out of bounds. Near the 30-yard line, a late flag comes in. Karan Bolden leading the charge for the Vaqueros, forcing Wimmer out after a short gain. Give him a yard. Call it 3rd and 3, but let's see what the flag is. Saddleback on the strength of the long run by Wimmer with the early 7-0 lead.
Classic huddle there by the officials. It's early season for them as well. You know.
Hey, that was a pretty good call on a tough one already. Down the sideline with Berry.
Yeah, that was a tough one there. That was they say it's a game of inches. That might have been less than an inch there. I couldn't tell from my vantage point. The camera was unclear. The officials were a lot closer than me, and they made the call. So
the penalty going against Glendale, so instead of 3rd and short, that will give a fresh set of downs to the Bobcats, and it will move the football down into the red zone. In fact, it'll go all the way down to the 15. So the 15-yard penalty and the first foray into the red zone for the Bobcats, as Wimmer remains in the game in the deep eye, pistol formation, receivers left and right. Started to talk about the playmakers on the outside, and certainly Yasir Berry, one of the 2 players that has played at the college level for the Bobcats, returns after a redshirt season at Sacred Heart, but he is a tremendous playmaker. But it just starts there. Kalen Coates returns to the program as well, and a couple of more receivers coming in, Hicks, Roebuck, that we'll get to as well. So a lot of playmakers once again for the Bobcats, and that's not a big surprise.
yeah, I think Berry led Saddleback in receptions in, what was it, 2017, 2018, something like that. Then he went off to Sacred Heart where he redshirted, but he's a guy that's familiar with the offense.
Nash on 1st and 10 from the 15. 4-man rush, play action. Nash steps up into the pocket, out to the flat, and completes to Roebuck. Zachary Roebuck with the catch and a gain of 5 yards.
Yeah, Roebuck, one of those guys that came in from out of state, Rich Central High School in Illinois. Just a freshman, 5'10", 185. Good-looking player.
Wait, an Illinois guy? All right.
Yes. Land of Lincoln.
Right. Oh, I'm familiar.
Oh, are you an Illinois guy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on
Grew up in the
now.
Chicago area.
Come on.
The ears went up there when I heard Illinois. Man in motion on 2nd and 5, sweeping to the near side. It's Hicks tiptoeing the sideline and in for the touchdown. 10-yard run for Samuel Hicks.
Yeah, that's a good play right there. That's one out of the old playbook right there. I saw that many times during the Mark McElroy era.
Yep.
They decided to keep that one in the book.
Yeah, the jet sweep, and again, great view here. Fantastic job on camera. And we give you a great look into the end zone, and what a terrific job by Hicks maintaining the balance on the near sideline.
Tell you what, he looks like a good athlete, that kid. They've got some, what looks to be some thoroughbreds out there to do Saddleback.
So Kaplan on again to try and tack on the extra point. And if you're the Bobcats, you can't draw up a much better start. First 2 drives, a couple of touchdowns, 10:41 to go. We'll give you a look at the replay as we take it to break. And the work of Hicks gets the edge and gets in for the touchdown, 14-0 Saddleback. 14-0. And the Vaqueros will go back on offense. Grace with the approach, short kick. This is Cole from the 12. Looking for the far side. Bumps out of a tackle at the 20, and he finds a little bit of running room out to the 30. Good job by Artis Cole on the return. We'll see where they ultimately spot it. Looks like the 31-yard line, 19-yard return. Solid field position for Glendale. And they already find themselves in a quick hole, 14-0.
Cole's a good-looking athlete, kid out of Benton, Louisiana. You can see he's got pretty good speed around the edge. One of the Bobcats finally caught up with him, but I'd like to see a little bit more of him here during the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him make some plays before this one was over.
And you expect to see that. He is one of a trio of receivers that will see a great deal of the playing time here for the Vaqueros here tonight. And a read option, and on the keeper, it's Garcia who gains perhaps a yard out to the 32, where it'll be 2nd down and 9.
That's just tremendous pursuit right there. I mean, when you talk to Kerry Crabb, one thing he was really happy about is he thinks the back 7 is really special. You got really good kids in the DBs, and they had about 25 linebackers to start the season.
Yeah, again, we alluded to the more or less double recruiting class and pinballing off of tacklers on the carry. And that was Armstead, who gained 3 yards out to the 35, where it'll bring up a 3rd and 6. And early in the game, but already Glendale could badly use a 1st down, if nothing else, to try and stall some momentum, keep the football.
Yeah, I hate to say with 9:38 left in the first quarter that this is a big play, but this is a big play for the Vaqueros right here.
Blitz coming. Garcia will keep. He's out to the 41, very near the 1st down marker where he is sandwiched.
Yeah, they're going to give it to him.
This will come down to the spot.
That's a gutsy play by that kid right there. He knew he was going to get hit. You can see he's bent over a little bit. He took a shot from both sides.
Yeah, it was Isaiah Sierra, one of 3 linebackers who transferred from College of the Desert into this Saddleback program. And Sierra laid the lumber, but Garcia picks up the 1st down. 1st and 10. The handoff and straight ahead. They'll try Armstead out to the 44. That's a gain of 3.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as this game goes on just how many bodies the Bobcats. Sorry, I almost did it for the first time. The Bobcats get in the game.
I keep waiting for me to do it. I know it's going to happen.
You know, I called them a nickname for 12 years around here, and it's not going to be an easy thing to break, a habit. But at least I caught myself in mid-form right there.
3 wide receivers to the far side on 2nd and 7. Blitz coming. Pocket starting to break down, and Garcia in some trouble, and they will get to him back at the 41-yard line, a line of 3. We do have a Bobcat player down. Looks like Gabriel Colborn.
Yeah, we also got a yellow flag down, too. I think they're going to get Glendale for a holding here.
3rd down and 10. Pressure coming off the edge, and Garcia just trying to escape, but he couldn't do it. Ultimately takes the sack. So they will tend to the injured Bobcat player. Will step aside with 8:27 to go in the opening period. Saddleback on top, 14-0 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Third down and 10 at the 41 after the sack. Garcia with a little trouble now, has the snap, steps up, looking to run, able to get to midfield and down to the 47. That is a run of 12 yards on 3rd and 10. And Nick Garcia again with his feet able to move the chains. That's good coverage, but you see Garcia just able to outrun Tim Jones. and pick up 12 yards and another big first down for Glendale, trying to answer back after this torrid start for the Bobcats that has seen them grab a 14-0 lead. Nick Garcia winning the job over Chase Center, but we will see both of them here tonight, according to Tanner Farwell. The give straight ahead down to the 43-yard line is Armstead, a gain of 4, and a 2nd and 6 upcoming for Glendale. But the book on Garcia, who should see a little more than half of the reps here tonight, is a competitive, good leader for this team, and we're already seeing that is an accurate scouting report on this very drive, where he has absorbed a couple of big hits, fought off a sack, and is moving the chains. He has Glendale on the move in Saddleback territory. Armstead down to the 40, another third down coming up. This will be a 3rd and 3 for Glendale.
Got to be encouraged if you're the Carrots right now. You needed to drive. You needed at least a few first downs. Keep that Saddleback offense off the field. Give your defense a little chance to rest. Now they're down there up to a point where they could get some points if they can get another first down.
3rd and 3. Armstead, good hole. Down to the 30 and dragged down at the 28, and it's not Armstead. We should point out it's Adante Bailey who has come on, and he had good running room behind the left side of that offensive line.
Yeah, Matt Gurkirian and also Alan Arriaga, both big kids. Arriaga goes 300, Kirian goes 305, so yeah. They're going over the left side of that offensive line. That's probably the good side, I would think.
The left side of that offensive line, actually, it's the freshmen on that side. It's the right side where we have the sophomores, but it's a good effort all the way. All 5 up front, creating that running room as Bailey spins out of a tackle at the line, falls forward for a gain of a couple.
It's good looking back, this kid, 25. Bailey, kid out of Pasadena, local kid up there. Got some good moves coming out of that backfield. Saddleback, good pursuit there, though.
So a 2nd down and, well, they're calling that 2nd down and 7 from the 27. They haven't updated the scoreboard, and slipping down at the line is Bailey. So back to a 3rd and 10. That's a loss of 3, and that'll be the easiest tackle that you're going to get if you're Chad Nucci.
Yeah, he just he ran into one there.
Yeah, good tackle for loss back to the 31. So this will be 3rd and 11. As Garcia looks over the Bobcat defense, receivers left and right. Fakes the pitch on the designed roll, completes, but for a modest gain, just a couple. Down to the 29, that is well short, as he found Carson Cardenas.
It was the right idea for Glendale. I mean, Saddleback was bringing some guys, and they decided to just dump it over the middle, over the top, kind of a little screenplay, but the safeties picked it up really well.
4th down and 8 from the 28, and Glendale will line up to go for it. Garcia has the snap with some trouble. Now they'll just have to fall on it. Again, Nucci there quickly, as it was Bailey that fell on it back at the 33, and that's where Saddleback will take over.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where they were looking at a 45-yard field goal if they tried that, which is starting to get up there in terms of length at this level, and they just decided to go for it. 3rd and 7. Unfortunately, quarterback couldn't handle the ball.
Yeah, a lot of confidence in Andrew Kozanian, who handles the kicking and punting, but that's a long look. And I think at this point, you maybe want to give your offense an opportunity to run some more plays. Again, this was a game not even on the books 6 weeks ago. Both coaches getting together, making the decision, hey, rather than have a scrimmage, let's play a game, find out where we are, and get a little more experience for the players. So good job on both sides to get it to happen. A lot of people obviously doing a lot of work. Wimmer on the carry, a gain of perhaps a yard.
And Glendale learning something up front now. They've seen this thing a few times now. Good reaction up front there by the big kid, number 54. That's a big body right in the middle of the field there, Donner Stewart, 6 foot and 300.
Little help from Chuck Shull coming off the edge from his outside linebacker spot. And indeed, obviously the first run was the big headline here, but since that point, Glendale has started to get it together up front, battling this Saddleback offensive line. 2nd down, and call it 8 from the 36. Back to Wimmer, in big trouble, back inside the 30. This is going to be a huge loss. Back to the 27-yard line, And it was Shull again with a little bit of help from Enrique Diaz.
I think it's safe to say we'll see a pass on this next play. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, so far Drew Nash has been pretty good in limited duty when he's had to put the football up. But indeed, this will be spotted back at the 27. That is a loss of 9 for Wimmer. And it brings up a 3rd down and 17. 4 wide receivers for the Bobcats. Nash, who will see, in all likelihood, the lion's share of the action tonight. His primary backup, DJ Ralph, is battling an injury, so is unavailable tonight. Good pressure again on Nash, who finally just has to throw it away. Coates was in the area, but no chance. A great response by the Vaquero defense, who get the quick 3 and out, and they'll get the football back.
Yeah. I mean, after a really rough first 5 minutes of this game, it really seems as if Glendale's settled down quite a bit. I mean, they had a nice drive. It just came up short, got themselves in a 4th and long situation, gave the ball back to Saddleback. But now the defense comes out and gets a 3 and out. Yeah, you have to be encouraged.
A little bit better each time. You think back to that second drive that Saddleback was able to get a touchdown, but they got a little help from a couple of penalties from Glendale as well, one on a big 3rd down. And the Vaqueros starting to find their bearings, but it's the Bobcats with the big early lead, and now whistles come in on the snap. And we'll run this one again, 3:17 to go in the first quarter. And Saddleback leading it 14-0.
Looks like this one's going against the Bobcats here. I don't know if it was a false start. Kind of one thing we wish we had a little sound here in the press box. I think these are some of the things that with the new facility you'll get worked out at some point.
Find a way to get an intercom in here if you can, Brad. And shouldn't be too hard. Good snap, kick away. Taken at the 39. It's Cole out to the 45, where he is met by a quartet of Bobcats.
I like the new design on the helmet, the S on there. After so many years of having the G on there, and Saddleback now working on their own brand, which
was it down to the S or the B to go on the helmet? Because it seems like those had to be the 2 letters that were the front runners.
No, I think it was determined quite a while ago that they were going to start going with an S. If you look at most schools, they use the first initial of the first name of the school. I think the only one I can think of that doesn't is UCLA baseball uses a B, I believe. But
Michigan State, don't they go with the S on their?
They do, but it's not the Spartans. I think it's for state.
You're right. That is certainly as good a theory, if not better.
I don't know.
Running room again. This time it is Armstead, and he is brought down at the 35. That's a run of 16 yards, and we'll see if we get the replay. I'm sure we will here momentarily. Mike getting it queued up, but that is another great job up front by this young Vaquero offensive line.
Glendale picking up the pace now. They got off a play quickly right there. They decided to go tempo and see if they can.
Yep, went right back to Armstead for a pickup of a couple. Down to the 33. And they'll give him the 32. So call it 2nd down and 7 while we saw Adante Bailey on the previous drive get some running room. And now it's Armstead getting into the act. And Glendale trying to answer back with a ground game of their own. Garcia, play action, has time, looking deep into the end zone, and it's incomplete, just overthrown.
Yeah, we're going to see a flag there. We had a little bit of clutching and grabbing down around the 5-7 yard line.
Looking for Jordan Johnson, the 6'4 sophomore out of Mission Viejo. Sorry, that was David Beck.
I think the DB there on the far side, I believe it's Tanner Gunnell. Just got a little bit too touchy there. Hands on the jersey, got him up around the neck area, and did it right in front of the official.
So that'll be 15 yards, and the Vaqueros will have their deepest foray. And just want to make sure they get this right. It was Tremaine Fredu who was the intended target, just overthrown, but the pass interference call will bring it at the 17. And it took me 3 tries. It's a little early in the season for me as well. 1st and 10. The handoff to Armstead, and he is hit behind the line, dropped at the 20. That's a loss of 3. And the Bobcats were on quickly.
Well, everybody's got the early season jitters, Jeff, and let's not forget we didn't have football last year,
Right.
so we really haven't done anything now for the better part of 21 months.
Brian Patterson quickly into the backfield to blow up that play, a loss of 3. Second down for Glendale. Football resting on the Saddleback 20. Blitz coming. Garcia stepping up, dumps and completes. Caleb Snowden with the reception, and he is gang tackled down at the 13-yard line, a gain of 7. Boy, good luck even trying to get in there. Just throw out a name of somebody on Saddleback defensively, and they were probably in on that tackle.
Yeah, I think Kerry Capp's got to be happy with that. I saw 7 jerseys in on that tackle. That's pursuit right there.
Well, both coaches talked about that no problem getting the players up for the game. After a season without football, everybody was excited. And the phrase that kept on coming up was they were all looking forward to getting on the field and hitting somebody. And enough with the practices and the time off. They were excited to get the pads on and get out there. And so you could see a lot of enthusiasm dumped in the flat, looking for Bailey and a touchdown-saving tackle. Bailey still has the first down to the 4.
Yeah, that was a perfect call by Glendale right there. They got the excellent back, Bailey, out in the open field, one-on-one. Like you said, that was a heck of a tackle, shoestring tackle there by 35.
Nathan
Otherwise, that's
O'Rourke,
a touchdown.
Yeah, showing some good speed from his inside linebacker spot, and he was able to get out there and just get a piece and keep the Vaqueros out of the end zone for the moment, but they have it 1st and 10 at the 4. Armstead running right. He's hit behind the line. Back at the 5, it's a loss of a yard.
Yeah, I think it's going to be difficult at times this year to run wide on this Saddleback team. They have a lot of speed on both sides of the field, especially you get inside this tight down towards the end zone, and it becomes a lot more congested. There's 11 guys in there now.
No shortage of speed. Second down, they give straight ahead, and a gain of perhaps a yard.
I think that was an offensive lineman on the carry.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen Bailey and Armstead so far, and I could tell by body type that was not Bailey or Armstead that got that
69.
that got that handoff, and we're getting the word from
William
Mike Cepeda
Escalera.
in the booth, and it's Escalera who was the upback who got the call, and he moved the pile for about a yard on the final play of the first quarter. We're through one quarter. Saddleback with a 14-0 lead on Glendale, but the Vaqueros are knocking at the door. Start of the second quarter here from Saddleback Stadium. And it's the Vaqueros who have it 3rd and goal from the 4. Garcia with Armstead to his right, 4 wide receiver set. Has the snap, sets up under pressure, steps up, fires into the end zone for the touchdown. Artis Cole with the reception, 4 yards, and Glendale on the board.
Yeah, that was all Nicholas Garcia right there. He avoided the rush, just bounced it outside, used his athleticism to find some space between he and the defenders, and then the wide receivers just sitting in a little soft zone right there, right at the edge of the end zone.
So on the first play of the second quarter, it's Glendale who gets on the board, and it's 14-6, and Kozanian will come on to try and tack on the extra point. That is a great response from the Vaqueros. After the quick 3-and-out, they get the football back. And eventually it's Garcia as the extra point is blocked. Football loose, and they will fall on it, so it will remain 14-6 in favor of Saddleback with 14:53 to go. as we've got the replay for you, and they're coming off the edge. Boy, that is great penetration and no chance for Kazanian.
Boy, look at that camera view. What a great job by our producer up here, Mike Zapata, running the crew. Boy, it's good stuff right now on SoCal College Sports.
And now, for the first time, it's the Bobcats who will have to answer back.
Yeah, well, this is one of those things. You know, at some point you were going to get tested, and Glendale has they have not mailed it in. They came back after a really rugged start. They were down 14-0 in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, 90 yards on the ground for Saddleback so far in this one, but 73 coming on one play.
Exactly.
The opening run by Wimmer, and since then, the Crows have slowly started to find their way, and now they're back within a single score at 14-6, and we'll see how the Bobcats elect to proceed. Certainly the last drive was their worst effort so far with the quick 3-and-out. We'll see what kind of adjustments they look to make here early in the second quarter. The approach from Kazanian taken at the 5 and out to the 20, 25, and tripped up near the 30-yard line. So a solid return. It's McGee going 25 yards out to the 30. And that's where the Bobcats will get it going.
Well, now, like you said, now we'll see what Saddleback has got. I mean, this is one of those things. It's a young team. How are they going to bounce back?
Yeah, Drew Nash just 1 for 2 so far in the game for 5 yards. Did have one sizable completion that did go for a touchdown to Yasir Berry that was erased by a penalty, but we have not seen a whole lot of freshman Drew Nash in terms of throwing the football so far. Pistol formation and back to the ground. And a gain of a couple.
Yeah, I believe that's
Ashley on the carry, Amphodius Ashley. Excuse me, that was Jamari Farrell carrying the football for the Bobcats, bringing up a 2nd down and 8.
Saddleback been fairly conservative here so far on offense. Still trying to plug away with the running game there.
Farrell figures to be the primary backup behind Wimmer, at least on the depth chart so far. Nash on a designed roll throws and completes near the 1st down marker. Shull on the stop. And the completion just shy should bring up a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1, as he finds Bowden Groen.
Yeah, now that I can tell you, Jeff, is something we didn't see a lot of in the Mark McElroy area. They very infrequently use a tight end every now and then.
And that's something that Kerry Crabb talked about in our conversation this week. He said if you're looking for one primary difference that you might see in that is that we want to make more of a commitment to getting the tight end involved in the offense. And Groen with the reception brings up a 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, I think we're going to get an offsides here. It looked as if the left DN jumped across and hit 59. 59 then got up as if he was pulled. And we'll see what they call here.
We'll have the replay for you.
No, they're going to.
Oh, no.
Nope, he changed his mind. He was going to call false start. Then he realized midstream, no, that was offsides.
So 5 yards will be tacked on, and it will give a 1st down to the Bobcats with the football at the 43.
There, you see the play right there. The left DN jumps across, makes contact.
And Nash will bring him to the line. Steps up, fires, and completes on the far side. And good enough to move the chains once again.
So a little bit different look now on offense this time around. A little swing pass out in the flat.
Back to Roebuck, who makes the catch. The football now moves into Vaquero territory. The Bobcats quickly on the move. They have it at the 48 of Glendale. Quick snap. Nash looking left and whistles. And the play blown dead.
I didn't see what happened on that one.
Before the snap, is this going to go against?
Looks like it's against the Bobcats there. Maybe it's a false start.
Yeah. It's usually what you would see in a situation where they'll stop the play. So it moves it back to the Saddleback 48. And it brings up 1st down and 15. Three wide receivers to the left for Drew Nash and the Bobcats. Four-man rush. Good pocket for Nash. Steps up, looking right. And now the flags come in as he was looking for Kalen Coates. And on the coverage, it was Asa Robertson working one-on-one, and we'll show you the replay here. And, yeah, I think there's pretty much a no-doubter there for Robertson.
Yeah, they just got tangled up down around the 35.
Yeah, a lot of times it's body contact, but you see the replay there is Robertson. That was a lot of hands, and then Robertson more or less grabbed him and brought him down. Not the toughest call, and it will give Saddleback a first down back in Glendale territory.
Saddleback receiver also sold that pretty well.
Yeah. And it was Kalen Coates.
Coates has been around a little while.
Yeah, that was a veteran move from one of the few veterans on the Bobcat offense. 1st and 10 from the Glendale 35. Penalties haven't been a huge story, but there have been a couple of big ones against Glendale. One to keep the second scoring drive alive that I alluded to previously, and then this one's a pretty big call as well when they had him 1st and 15, but that's a big penalty. 17 yards, going to take it to the 35.
Well, Saddleback's answering the call a little bit here after Glendale kind of grabbed a little bit of the momentum. The Bobcats now have decided, you know what, we liked it better when we were going down the field rather than you guys.
Well, again, that was a fairly lengthy drive for Glendale in the previous drive, and you want to give your defense a little bit of a blow. And they pick up a couple of first downs and get the ball moving again. Still sorting out on the spot on the previous. They did. I wonder if this is where the ball is spotted. It should be at the 37. They were at the 48 of Saddleback, and a 15-yard penalty should move to the 37. They initially were set to put it at the 35, but I think now they're going to mark it off correctly and get it to the 37-yard line. Making the announcement now, which we can hear faintly through the window.
Yeah, now they are going through with the call. A 15-yard penalty.
As Zachary Roebuck, who has both catches so far for the Bobcats, checks back in. Roebuck and Samuel Hicks, a pair of freshman receivers, figure to work the slot for much of the season. Here is Hicks, who has a touchdown run earlier in motion. Hit in the backfield and clothesline. That brings the penalty flags.
What's it going to be, holding, or did he get
a
him up
loss
around
of a yard? Yeah.
Did he get him up around the face mask?
Yeah,
it's hard to tell.
It was Samuel Moore, and that tackle was up high, and that often brings a flag. But let's wait and see what the call is.
They're actually talking to the Glendale coaches. I think it's going to be a holding call against Saddleback, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't want to imply certainly anything dirty by Samuel Moore, only that the tackle was up high, and sometimes that brings the flag. But obviously we don't want to give the implication that there was anything that Moore did that was specifically dirty on the play. For the moment, it's remaining 2nd down and 11. The football still at the 38-yard line as we have a timeout on the field. 11:56 to go in the second quarter. And Saddleback with a 14-6 lead on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Second down and 11 from the 38 after the loss of a yard. On first down for Saddleback. Coates in motion. Nash with a straight drop. Has time. Now the pocket's starting to break down. Nash on the run. Still looking. And now just has to head out of bounds. Great job on coverage for Glendale, but Nash was able to find the edge and get it to the 33-yard line. So that's a gain of 5 yards. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 6.
That's that athleticism that you see out of most of the quarterbacks playing football in the old days. They would have sat back in that pocket. They probably would have taken a hit or a sack or thrown the ball away. seems like every guy now can run a little bit, gets outside, picks up a valuable 5 yards.
I'd say so. Fran Tarkenton disagrees with your assessment. 3rd down and 6 for Saddleback. Play action. Nash on a designed roll, throws right, completes, appears to have first down yardage, finding Samuel Hicks.
That's a good play right there. Good throw. That's the kind of throw that scouts like to see right there, that little out pattern where you can put some zip on it and get it out there quickly.
First reception for Hicks, and it picks up a first down. Roberson on the stop for Glendale. Fresh set of downs from the Glendale 25. Bobcats looking to answer after the Glendale touchdown on the previous drive. Nash going for the end zone, and they're tied up. And down goes Coates again, matched up with Roberson, but no flags on the play.
Yeah, it looks like maybe their feet just got tangled a little bit. The fans, they always want to call on that. But if they get their feet tangled, it's really nothing to call. It's just incidental contact and unfortunate thing. But it was good coverage there on the far side regardless.
Yeah. One-on-one on that far sideline. Now 2nd and 10, as that time it was the Bobcats who take a shot downfield. Nash looking left, finds Barry. Barry at the 20, breaks the tackle, and he's tripped up at the 13. A gain of 12. That is good enough for a Bobcat first down. Let's give you a look here from field level and watch the shifty footwork of Barry, who nearly found his way out of a tackle and on his way toward the end zone, but just tripped up after a gain of 12. Quickly to the line. Here come the Bobcats with a first down. They fake to Farrell. Nash on the keeper at the 5, sidesteps a tackler. He's in for the touchdown.
That was a heck of a drive right there by Saddleback. Glendale had grabbed some momentum there towards the back half of the first quarter. Saddleback finally answered. Drew Nash gets him down the field. His first touchdown run into the season.
Yeah, going right back. This is a 13-yard run you're going to watch. He's locked up with Perez there, who can't wrap him up. Good move by Nash, and then gets to the pylon for the touchdown.
We just talked about that athleticism of quarterbacks these days. That was one of those examples. Quarterbacks that can get outside and run like a running back. That's a valuable tool.
10 plays, 70 yards on the drive for the Bobcats. Extra point up and good, and that pushes the lead to 21-6. Give you one more look here from field level of Drew Nash finding pay dirt. Bobcats back out to a 15-point lead here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. .20 to go in the first half. And the Bobcats, after the 70-yard drive, have pushed the lead back to double digits at 21-6.
Oh,
and they go for the onside kick.
Yeah, I think they
out
got
to the 47-yard line. A little bit of trickery, and the Bobcats will go right back on offense.
That is one of those things that you don't see that often early in the season because it's a tricky thing to figure out. An onside kick, but they had enough confidence with the 21-6 lead to go ahead and do it, and now you can really put Glendale in a hole if you go down the field and score here.
Yeah, well executed, and the Bobcats able to come up with it, and now they have it 1st and 10 at the 47. And for the Glendale defense, after they were out there for 4.5 minutes on the previous drive, right back to work on a short field. The Saddleback will have it at their own 47. Nash with 3 wide receivers to the left. Looking left, throws. Berry juggles but makes the reception. Fights off a couple of tackles. He's down to the Glendale 41. Good enough for a first down. Second catch for Berry.
Tell you what, he is slippery, boy. He gets that ball, and he is not easy to bring down. You can see he just made a little jump step there. He almost slipped away from both those tacklers.
It was Leyva who eventually wrapped him up, but not before. First down yardage for Saddleback. They have it now at the Glendale 41, 1st and 10. Again, a designed roll. Nash throwing on the run. Another strike, this one to Hicks, who's tripped up inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line, 23 yards for Samuel Hicks.
Drew Nash making it look real simple right now. I mean, Saddleback is just finding the soft spot in the zone. Glendale's playing his own defense, and they're just picking them apart right now.
Alex Perez eventually with the tackle on Hicks. And the Bobcats want to move quickly to the line. They're back in the red zone, looking to add to a 15-point lead. Again, 3 wide receivers to the left. Well, after almost exclusively going to the running game early, it's been more passing, but now back to the run and another touchdown. It's Farrell this time. 18 yards. He had a good hole up front. More good work from that Bobcat offensive line. And squirts through onto the second level. Bolden can't wrap him up.
You know, the first score took a very short amount of time. Second score was a handful. But that was the best drive of the game right now for Saddleback.
Yeah.
That was an impressive drive.
3 plays is all it took, but it was Berry, then Hicks, then Farrell. And a great job up front by that Bobcat offensive line. And 53 yards and a touchdown.
I think we're going to get a little false start there on Saddleback on the extra point. Somebody on the right side moved a little bit.
So we'll try again.
It's one of those big bodies. You get those 300-pounders moving forward, you can't miss them. It's like watching Mike Zapata out there. You get him moving and can't miss it.
Yeah, Mike would not be able to hide on that offensive line.
No, he wouldn't.
That's why he stuck to basketball.
Uh-oh.
And now penetration, and Glendale returns the favor. They'll block this extra point.
Saddleback
Trying to get the return, but dragged down out at the 35. So it will remain 27-6, as both teams have had an extra point blocked here tonight. And similar in that situation for Glendale. Good penetration, a breakdown on that offensive line, and no chance.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a big play on paper, but the play by the kicker there, Dylan Winter, to come back and make that tackle and save his team 2 points was kind of impressive. I thought when the kid picked up the ball that he might go the distance, but Saddleback guys reacted, didn't give up on the play. You didn't get the point, but you didn't give up 2 either.
Couple of touchdowns here in the second quarter, and Saddleback now with a 27-6 lead. As Kaplan will tee it up when the Bobcats hit the field. 9:35 to go here in the first half. First game of the season. We made a brief reference to the schedule earlier for Glendale. A bye next week after their Week 2 matchup was canceled. So some time for Tanner Farwell and his staff and his team to go back to work and work on what they see here. And they will continue their season in a couple of weeks. Meanwhile, for Saddleback, very much the opposite. They go right back to work, and the schedule gets really tough in a hurry.
Yeah, I saw a good crowd there on the near side of the field.
Yep.
Saddleback fans showing up. Long drive for Glendale. You don't expect early on hot weather that you're going to get a big crowd on the other side of the field, but it's really nice to see the Saddleback fans back at Saddleback College watching football.
Trying to go across the field. He's out near midfield, and a good return, finally forced out of bounds at the 42. And yet, we don't have the shot of it right away, but there are a few did make the drive. I mean, we do have some fans in the stands for Glendale that did make the trip, and that's always good to see, of course, as well. Johnson, meanwhile, on that return, 37 yards and he ran about 87 yards to
Yeah,
go to 37 as he worked his way all the way from the near side to the far side, but good field position for Glendale.
And I don't want to give too many props to the speed of our kicking game. Connor Grace, the kicker, running down another guy. So that's 2 plays in a row where our kickers have run down somebody in the open field.
And Johnson is a speedster, so that is an impressive feat to manage to corral him and get him out of bounds. Might have been a designed keeper for Garcia, and it picks up maybe a half a yard. It's going to be 2nd and 10, as Nicholas Garcia didn't find a whole lot of running room. Clock on the move, 9:05 and counting, remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, Garcia is a heck of an athlete, but he just didn't have much of a chance there. Saddleback pushed in 2 guys and just kind of forced him to run forward.
Snap to Garcia. Screens it out looking for Armstead. He's hit at the line.
Good speed on the outside of the field. I believe it was Isaiah Sierra. He's a heck of a looking football player.
Yep, Sierra part of that group of linebackers coming over from College of the Desert. And he was able to get outside, wrap up Armstead, no gain on the play, and it's quickly 3rd and 10.
I saw this guy on campus when I first showed up in the summer camp, and this guy, he was just ripped beyond belief. And I thought he was a coach. I said, "Who's the grown man over there?" And they said, "Oh, that's Isaiah Sierra."
Garcia stepping up away from pressure, looking deep, has a man wide open, and it's incomplete.
You won't find a guy more open than that all season long, I can tell you that.
Nick Moore on the near side as Garcia kept this play alive, and look at Moore. There's nobody within 10 yards, but they cannot make the connection, and what a bullet dodged by the Bobcats. That was 6 points if Garcia can hook up.
Yeah, in fairness to Garcia, it was a pretty long pass. I mean, the ball, the wide receiver's down around the 20, and Garcia was standing on his own 35. So it was a good pitch and catch if it was going to work, but you'd certainly like to see him put a little more air into the ball and give his guy a chance to get there.
4th down, and on comes the punting unit. Unless I miss my guess, this is the first punt, and Kazanian's in some trouble.
Uh-oh.
He's going to have to eat it back at near his own 30, trying to keep his feet. They finally get him down. And this is going to be a disastrous play on special teams for Glendale. They will give it up deep in their own territory. They'll spot it at the 30, and the trouble all began with the snap, which was low and rolled to Kazanian, who could not find a lane to get the kick off.
And that's good defensive special teams for Saddleback. That's the second big play. We saw a blocked extra point. Now we get, well, essentially that was just a bad snap on that one, but Saddleback didn't give up on the play, and once Kazanian couldn't hang on to the ball, there was a lot of guys there ready to greet him.
So the football will be spotted at the Glendale 30. Another short field. And the Bobcats looking for more. Back to Wimmer, who bounces ahead for a gain of a couple. Garcia, again among the first to get there for Glendale.
Wimmer's got a good first step. I mean, as we saw, he's got pretty good open field speed too. But I really like when he sees a hole, he just he's got a quick first step, and he gets off into that hole quickly. 2nd
down and 8. Again, Wimmer coming from San Diego Mesa, where he played in 2019. Nash guns the far side. It's incomplete.
A little mistiming right there. It's early. Those plays will be working later on during the season. That's one of those things where they've only had a few weeks working together, and the wide receiver was open, but it was just a little off the mark. The
matchup between Coates and Roberson continues on that far side as Saddleback in the burgundy jersey is working it from right to left here in the second quarter. 3rd down and 8 from the 28.
Oh, screen
Nash
pass coming
pumps,
here.
Now sets up the screen. All kinds of running room for Wimmer. He's at the 15, lowers the shoulder at the 10, and moves the pile down to the 6. That is 22 yards on 3rd and 8 and a first down for Saddleback. What a great play call. What a great execution.
Absolutely. Glendale was bringing everybody, and Saddleback read it perfectly, slipped the running back in there, slipped the lineman out, and it was an unfair fight after that.
Wimmer picks his way forward, ends up at the 6 where it's 1st and goal. 3 wide receivers to the right now for Saddleback. And movement before the snap. Barry was off and running, and let's see what the call is.
Yeah, I think 56 on the left side of the offensive line there, Lackmish.
Yeah, didn't mean to call out Yasir Berry. That was he was moving, but it was the movement on that left side of that offensive line. So the Bobcats not on the same page. That'll cost them 5 yards, and it will be 2nd and goal now from the 11.
Saddleback's got a tight end in there right in the slot. Let's see if they go back to the tight end.
Yeah, on that right side. Nash has the snap, looking right into the end zone. He was going to the tight end. Is that Bowden Groen? Just off his fingertips and incomplete.
Yeah, I think Bowden Groen's going to be thinking about that one tonight. Looked like it was a catchable ball, maybe a little bit deep. I don't know. Maybe we can get a replay of that one.
Let's see if Mike has it. Yeah, we're going to see it right there. Yeah. And he can get that left hand on it, but did he get both mitts on it?
Tough play. It was a tough
catch.
play.
Yeah, no question about it. Jaron Flowers had the coverage. Groen can't come down with it. Now it's 2nd and goal from the Glendale 11. Misdirection as Wimmer gets the call. And he weaves his way forward for a gain of 3. That'll bring up 3rd and goal from the 8.
Saddleback up 21 here. Boy, they'd love to tack on another 7.
Shandon Pittman, the defensive end, with the stop. And the Bobcats will quickly get to the line. 4 wide receivers on 3rd and goal from the 8. Nash from the shotgun. Looking left, throws, near side. It's off the hands and incomplete. Boy, that looked like 6 points as he wanted Samuel Hicks, who had his hands on it and could not find the handle. And we'll see a field goal attempt upcoming for the Bobcats, but it looked to me like Hicks had a real shot at that.
Yeah, the Groen play was a tougher play. Hicks will be mad at himself about that one. I know these kids, they're very confident in their abilities, and he's not going to be happy that he dropped that one tonight.
Well, there's a lot of confidence in that wide receiver core, both among themselves, but also among the coaches as well. And not only is there an awful lot of athleticism among those 4, a lot of speed, the ability to challenge the defenses vertically, but when asked about it, Kerry Crabb said we have a lot of confidence in their ability to win the ball. Good hands among all 4 of them, and certainly they expect to see a lot of big things this season. Saddleback on that drive will settle for 3 as Kaplan puts it through. The score now 30-6 in favor of the Bobcats. 5:56 to go in the first half. It's Saddleback College Football on SoCalCollegeSports.com. $16 unanswered for Saddleback after Glendale got on the board, and now they have it out to a 30-6 lead with 5:56 to go here in the first half. That's a good answer by this Bobcat squad. Mentioned their upcoming schedule very briefly during that last drive, but it's Mount Sac and then it's Riverside, so they don't have a lot of time to rest on any laurels here. It's going to get about as tough as it gets coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's not going to be friendly. I mean, you know, when you get together with Mount Sac, you get together with Riverside, you get together with Ventura, then you get into league play and you got Fullerton. Those are the big 4. You look at it and you go, okay,
yep.
What can we do? Go 4-0, we're great. You know, if we go 3-1, we're pretty good. If we go 2-2, we're okay. You know, and you start thinking about the playoffs down the road, but that's the rugged road ahead. Weeks 2, 3, 5. I forget what Fullerton is.
Yeah,
7 or 8.
It's getting it gets crowded. Those 4 spots for the playoffs, they go quickly, and you don't have a lot of margin for error. Bailey, I should say, trying to run left, but he's in all kinds of trouble. He's going to be thrown for a loss. back at the 17. That's a loss of 3. Bobcats going after that run aggressively, as it was Chad Nugent. Again, quickly able to get into the backfield. A loss of 3 brings up 2nd down and 13. They'll keep it on the ground as Bailey drags a tackler back near the original line of scrimmage. Give him the 26. That's a gain of 4. And a 3rd down and 9 for the Vaqueros.
I think if you're Glendale right now, you just want to get a 1st down and keep that defense off the field. They've gotten pretty worn out here towards the second half of the second quarter here.
On 3rd and 9, Garcia in trouble. He's going to be sacked.
Yeah, Bobcat.
That was Sean Owens off the edge with the sack. A loss of 3 back to the 23-yard line. And it'll be 4th down, and the punting unit will come on for Glendale.
You mentioned the veterans and how neither team really has a lot of them. Owens is one of those guys. He had a pretty good season in 2019.
Yep.
Looks in great shape coming into the 2021 season. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities at the next level after this season.
Mentioned Wimmer, but Owens is another one that came courtesy of San Diego Mesa, a transfer. And he has had an outstanding career and remains here at Saddleback for his sophomore season. Picks up the sack there and gets the Bobcat defense off the field. High kick short from Kazanian, moving up and making the fair catch near midfield.
That's a good play by Barry there on the fair catch. I thought he misjudged it, but he reached up.
Yeah, it's good hands from Barry. That's probably not the way that you want to field it, but right around his eyes.
Yeah, he kind of overran the ball a little bit.
Athletic play, and not worth mentioning as well, with a couple of players right there in his grill.
That's one of those
great concentration.
Yeah, it's one of those things that occasionally you'll see just bounce off the face mask, and then you got a disaster on your hands.
So it's a kick of 32 yards and no return, but very good field position for the Bobcats from their own 45, 4:02 remaining in the first half. And they lead it 30-6. Screen pass to Wimmer.
That's a nice little
able
move.
to slip out of a tackle, and he has got a sizable gain into Glendale territory all the way down to the 34. That is a 21-yard pickup.
Boom, that move right there. You see that one. He just he got the defender on his heels.
Yeah, Chuck Shull out there one-on-one, and that is a tough ask in open field against Wimmer. And Wimmer able to sidestep and find an awful lot of running room, 21 yards to the 34, and quickly the Bobcats on the move. Back to Wimmer from the deep eye. Spun down after a gain of a couple.
Saddleback's got plenty of time here to work with. 3:25. They can run the ball. They got a lot of clock to play with. They can probably take this thing almost out if they just want to keep running it.
Little reason to think that they won't want to do that, based on what we've seen. Meanwhile, Wimmer starts to tack onto the yardage. He's up to 86 yards.
There's
looking for Groen with a good catch at the knees. He's got the 1st down and more down to the 20. That's a gain of 12 yards. 2nd reception for Bowden Groen.
Well, we talked about it. Saddleback's going to use some more tight ends this year. That's just something we didn't see a lot of during the McElroy era. And we've seen a lot of it here in the first half. Groen's been very involved in the offense.
And there should be plenty of opportunity for Groen with the receivers, guys like Kalen Coates and Yasir Berry, and the kind of attention that they require. And we've seen Groen have some room, and he's already got a couple of catches. Trouble with the snap, but Nash able to recover and complete to Roebuck, who absorbs a big hit but holds on to the football at the 13. That was Darian Allen.
Yeah, that's just one of those things you could see it coming from a mile away. He was going to get popped.
This is a great job by Roebuck to hold on to that football. Down to 2:23, but it might all be for naught as there is a flag down, and it will go against the Bobcats, and that is, insult meet injury for Roebuck, who absorbs that big hit and holds on to the football but doesn't get the yardage. Instead, the holding call erases it and moves it back to the 30-yard line. And now it'll be 1st and 20 for the Bobcats. Blitz coming for the Vaqueros. They set up the screen, but it's dropped.
That was
Coates, the intended target, and just started to take off without that football.
Yeah, that again was the perfect call. They just slipped that little wide receiver screen over there on the right side, and again, just running without the football. Those are the early things that happened during the early part of the season.
I've got it. Well, the scoreboard's got it 3rd down. Trying to find the down marker, but it's 20 yards to go with 2:08 remaining here in the first half. Nash ready. Has the snap. The hand to Wimmer. A little stutter step in the backfield. Now finds some running room. Breaks the tackle at the 25. Still moving the pile. He is down near the first down marker. An 18-yard run for Wimmer. That'll put him over 100 yards in the first half.
Yeah, I think Glendale was playing pass there, and Saddleback really surprised them. They just ran it student body left with Wimmer and found a nice little seam, and then he just put his head down, got an extra 5 yards.
Yes, similar to that first run where he had to sidestep a tackler right after getting the football, but then found a little bit of running room and did the rest.
He doesn't go down with one arm, that's for sure.
So 3rd down and short, and it's Farrell on the carry replacing Wimmer, and he gets 3 yards on a 3rd and 2 to move the chains.
Just what the doctor ordered. If you're Saddleback, you wanted to run the clock down and possibly run it out here before the half ends, and not let Glendale have a chance to get it back. And with 1:15 left now, it looks like they'll have an opportunity to do that.
So big 3rd down conversion, and now it's 1st and goal from the Glendale 9, 1:04 and counting remaining in the first half. Still a lot of time. Nash ready, and flags come in, back them up. One would expect. You got to be not too surprised at all to see a number of penalties like false start penalties. Again, well over a year without a game for both of these teams, and frankly, I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen more of them.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to see one, that's going to be the most common one, the first game of the season. These linemen just met each other 6-8 weeks ago.
Yep.
And so they're trying to get their continuity up front, and you have a few of those problems at the beginning of the season, but I think they'll get things worked out here between week 1 and week 2.
Yeah, Kerry Crabb talking about the influx of offensive linemen that he had, but all of them freshmen as Nash steps up. Good pocket running room up the middle, down to the 5, inside, close to the goal line. They're going to spot him about a half a yard shy.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play by Nash. Things just weren't open downfield, but all of a sudden a big seam opened up right in the middle of the field. He exploited it.
Meanwhile, the clock continues to move down to 22 seconds. Inside the 1 and the right side and in for the touchdown. Another touchdown for the Bobcats.
That's a heck of a way to end your half right there. I mean, remember this game was 14-6 not more than, 10, 11 minutes ago?
Yep. It's a great answer. As it was Amphodius Ashley on the carry. The 1-yard touchdown run makes it 36-6 while they get ready for the extra point. Just to finish the point, talking about the big turnout with the double recruiting class, and they had a number of offensive linemen coming in, and they said that the 5 that they're starting with here, that doesn't even represent the 5 that had really solidified the starting spot. They'd really gotten it down to about 9, but a couple of guys nursing some injuries, so even this 5 might change moving forward over the next few weeks as some players come into the fold as well.
You know, it was a situation where we've gone into some of the seasons with 8 or 9 offensive linemen total, and they had a really good recruiting class. They had a total of 17 guys at one point during the summer months, and so that's just something they're not used to. And it wasn't just here. Every school has a hard time recruiting offensive linemen. So all of a sudden, when you go from 9 to 17, you all of a sudden have a good problem on your hands, And so it's a problem that's a good one. But again, as we've mentioned many times, they're all freshmen. They're all trying to figure it out. This is college football. It's not high school football anymore.
Yeah.
And, you're going against a guy on the other side of the field that's a lot bigger and more physical and faster than the guy you played against in high school.
Another thing to talk about, we're staying on the offensive line, is one of the other things that Kerry Crabb mentioned was talking about that with these offensive linemen coming in, all freshmen, all making that leap from high school to college, that one of the things he was going to be interested in watching was Can they slow the game down? Can they make that step to the next level? And I'd have to say in this first half, they've done a great job of doing just that, not only just protecting Nash, but also setting up some of the screens and the execution on some of those play calls as well. I think it's been a strong effort from this young offensive line.
And overcoming a little adversity. Remember, the momentum changed there. Late first, early second quarter, Glendale had all the momentum. Saddleback finally bounced back and said, okay, that's enough of that.
Right. As the extra point is up and good. 15 seconds remain in this first half. We'll come back with Saddleback leading it 37-6 over Glendale here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Fifteen seconds remaining in the first half, and Saddleback leading it 37-6. Season opener for both these teams here in 2021.
Drew Nash so far in the game, 10 of 17, 130 yards. Andrew Wimmer, 106 yards. Now he went over the century mark there on that drive.
They pop this one short to the near side and out of bounds. Not going to give either Johnson or Artis Cole a chance to mount any kind of return. Instead, they'll let them spot it and give Glendale the football with 15 seconds remaining.
On the other side of the field, Nicholas Garcia has seen the goings a little bit rougher, just 5'9", 22 yards. He's had a lot of pressure on him. And Saddleback has forced him out of the pocket a number of times, having to force him to run.
Yeah, he has not had scarcely a drop back in this game where I think he's had 4 seconds or more really to get rid of the football, at least not without significant movement and buying himself some time, as Glendale will elect to keep it on the ground and just run out this first half. The teams will head to the locker rooms here at halftime with Saddleback, I should say, leading it 37-6 over Glendale. You're watching Saddleback College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the third quarter from Saddleback Stadium with the Bobcats leading at 37-6 over Glendale in the season opener for both teams. The Vaqueros will get the ball first to start the second half by virtue of winning the toss. They deferred, so they'll have it to start the third quarter. Johnson near sideline at the 8, working his way back to his left, looking for a lane, brought down after a return of 11 yards to the 19-yard line.
Terry Crabb going to be happy with what he's seen out of the special teams so far tonight, Jeff. He's got a block kick. He's, he's got keeping Glendale hemmed in deep in their own end on these kickoffs. You stop a team inside the 20-yard line these days, that's pretty effective stuff.
Yeah, that's a great job on the kick itself, really putting Johnson at that near sideline, not giving him a lot of angle to work with. He gets back to the 19, and that's where the Vaqueros will go to work. Nicholas Garcia, the handoff straight ahead, and pushing the pile. It's Armstead out to the 25.
Working with a 31-point lead now. I suspect that Saddleback's probably going to get a lot of new fresh jerseys out there.
Yeah, Kevin Armstead, leading rusher in the first half, a bounce back from Montana University, and a guy that's really impressed this Glendale coaching staff, goes about his business quietly, just does the job, and provides a lot of leadership for this offense as he gets the first down with second effort out to the 31, so the Vaqueros immediately move the chains with a first down.
It's a growing opportunity for both teams right now. 37-6, game probably well in hand unless something miraculous happens for Glendale. So both teams now going to work a lot of things out before week 2.
Yeah, and Tanner Farwell talking about this matchup and has a lot of kids here making the transition here tonight from high school to college ball. First down run for a couple of yards brings up 2nd and 8. He said the one thing he told his team as they make this trip down for this game is, hey, just give me 100% effort for all 4 quarters tonight. That's what I'm looking for. We know that this is a big step forward, first game in over a year for these teams, and there's going to be a lot that they're going to go to the drawing board and look at here and assess where they are, and he's just telling his guys, hey, no matter what happens, just give me 60 minutes. And so far you can expect that's what you're going to see. Sliding attempt by Cole, and he was not able to come up with it. That'll bring up a third down and long.
Yeah, you look at that roster of Glendale, and Saddleback's got about 25, 30 guys from out of state. But you look at Glendale, only a couple guys from out of state.
Yep.
Most of them coming from local high schools. You see a lot of kids there that are coming from St. Francis and Pasadena and John Muir, places like that are in and around that area. A lot of homegrown talent out there.
And that was all part of the plan. Again, talk about that this was at the start of the pandemic. This was a program that was down to 17 players.
Yeah.
And that's where Tanner Farwell was, and really had to go to work recruiting. And the easiest and the most effective thing was to look right in his backyard, and that's where he did. He had a lot of local talent that impressed him and that he wanted to get into his program, and that's what he's done.
Well, the first thing you want to ask a new coach coming is give me some numbers. And the numbers are up. And, this is a lopsided game right now, 37-6. But, as a last-minute take, Saddleback is one of the better upper-tier teams that there is in the SCFA. And so it's a tough challenge for Glendale coming in here, knowing just the history that this Saddleback program has. It's their first game inside the new stadium, new coach, new nickname, new mascot, the whole thing. He knew it was a tough challenge to begin with.
Yep.
And so, but they got the numbers. And, at some point, they're going to figure out which guys can do what. And I think Glendale's going to be just fine. They got some good athletes out there. The 37-6 score, I don't think is really indicative of how well they played, actually.
No, it is hardly a first half that is devoid of highlights. If you're a Glendale fan or supporter watching this, and again, to get back to something that Coach Farwell said when we talked to him, he said, hey, look, we can see the handwriting here. This is probably our toughest matchup of the season. So we're starting out in the deep end, and we're going to get a sense of where we are, but we're also thinking and looking ahead to the rest of our season, and we want to be better at the end of the year than we are at the start of the year. So why not give ourselves as tough a challenge as we can find right out of the gate?
Let's not forget, a minute into the second quarter, the score was 14-6, and then things just kind of got out of control. and snowballed on them, and then we got to where we are now. But it's a young team. They got some big talented kids out there. A couple kids with some good speed, a couple good kick returners. I think they're going to be just fine going forward.
After the punt, the Bobcats will take over at their 28-yard line, and that's where Drew Nash and the Bobcat offense will start. And it looks like Jamari Farrell back in the lineup with Nash. And the officials will try to get together and get themselves ready. 13:04 remaining in the third quarter.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better night on night one inside the new stadium. Probably about 80 degrees at game time now. It's cooled down into the mid-70s.
Yeah, warm afternoon has given way to a perfect evening. Trying to find the edge is Farrell, and he had to work hard for about 3 yards. That play was in trouble right from the start, but this is a terrific individual effort. Watch him absorb the hit and find his way for a modest pickup on the play. But that is good hard running from Farrell. 2nd down and 7 as they'll move 3 wide receivers to the right. Here comes the blitz. Good protection. Nash over the middle has a man, and it's dropped.
Yeah, just threw it a little bit behind the receiver. Nice play, nice recovery there by the defender for Glendale, the number 16, Alex Perez, because he had an angle.
Yep.
And Nash just hit him on the wrong shoulder a little bit.
Yeah, it was Hicks, and I should say dropped. He got his hands on it, but a tough play for Hicks running that square in and reaching back. Not an easy ball to come down with. So 3rd down and 7 now for the Bobcats. They'll send Groen in motion. And they like to keep it on the ground on 3rd down. Lowering the shoulder and getting it near the first down. That is a terrific effort.
That's a statement
and
run
second
right there.
effort.
3rd and 7, you're running the football right
and
side.
Thodius Ashley. And that is a gutsy call on 3rd and 7. Let's watch the replay, but this is all about Anthodius Ashley. Watch him move the pile as he gets hit right there at about the 25, but spins forward and then falls forward. He needed 7. He got 7.5. And a fresh set of downs. Play action, pass in the flat, Hicks with the catch. And he will be wrapped up immediately at the 46. Clock continues to move. That's a gain of 7.
Saddleback just more methodical, it seems, this year, if I was to use a term. They're quite content going out in the flat, getting 6-7 yards at a time, moving the clock, keeping the defense on the field.
Hicks with his 3rd catch. Back to the running game. And it's Farrell now back on as he bounces it outside out to the 46 as he gets it into Glendale territory and moves the chains again.
Yeah, just another good physical run there on the outside. You can see he put his head down there at the end and got an extra few yards. Saddleback just trying to make a statement right now. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to keep doing it until you stop them, I think.
They'll spot it at the 47, still good enough for a first down. Nash with the snap. Again on the designed roll. Tries to squeeze it in and does. Terrific job by Hicks making the catch in traffic. That's a gain of 9 down to the 38, and it'll be 2nd down and 1. Good job by Hicks.
Yeah, the offensive coaches really found something midway through the 3rd quarter. They found some soft spots in the zone, and they're just exploiting them. It's just pitch and catch right now for the quarterback. Oh.
And here come the flags and some movement perhaps up front. And 2nd and 1 will turn into 2nd and 6. We said that penalties hadn't been a big story in that first half. That's the first penalty of the second half. Trying to see if I can find the penalties on here. And having said that, that's the 10th penalty on Saddleback in the game. And that's a number that surprises me a little bit. I know some flags have been thrown, but that one catches me a little off guard. But 10th penalty of this game for 73 yards for the Bobcats, 2nd down and 6. Nash fakes trying to set up the screen, and he finds Farrell. And Farrell picks his way forward down to the 35, But it looks like they responded at the 39, so they're not going to give him that second effort. And instead of a first down, now it's 3rd down and 2.
I do like what I'm seeing, though, out of this offense because it shows me that they're working. That's a timing thing right there. Anytime you get a screenplay, there's timing with the offensive lineman getting down the field at the right time. The quarterback's got to throw the ball at the right time. And they seem to be all kind of on the same page, given it's just the first game of the year.
Pistol formation on a 3rd and 2. And Farrell lowers the shoulder. He will push the pile. He's got the first down and more down to the 34. That's a 5-yard run. That's a good push up front. And Farrell finishes it off for a gain of 5 and a first down. Well, this is a heck of a drive for the Bobcats already on this, their first drive of the 3rd quarter. Nash throwing left, finds Berry. And Berry near first down yardage and has it. Well, 1st and 10, and he got 10 yards and about 2 inches.
Yeah, coaching staff is just fully comfortable right now. If you're going to play a zone and they're going to find that soft spot, and Drew Nash he's got a clean pocket. There hasn't been hardly any pressure on him all night long.
Berry working on Darian Allen, and that is a tough assignment for Darian Allen. Working one-on-one. Hicks in motion on 1st and 10. And that one nearly picked off, but he squeezes it into Hicks down the near side and in for a touchdown. Well, the gamble there by Allen, as we'll give you the replay here from a couple of angles, but the gamble doesn't pay off as Nash able to get it to Hicks, and Hicks does the rest. His 2nd touchdown of the game, 1 rushing, now 1 receiving. And we'll give you a look from field level here, and you'll see just missing is Darian Allen as he had the read but got there just a fraction of a second late.
I guess you could say Hicks gets to the sticks, right?
Right.
First touchdown pass for Drew Nash. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, that's a terrific job as he finds Hicks. And, you know, for all the talk of Allen and Coates and their return, I should say Berry and Coates and their return, boy, Coach Kerry Crabb really went on and on about Roebuck and Hicks and what they are going to mean for this team working in the slot. And these are not your prototypical slot receivers either, possession guys running short crossing routes. No, not at all. These are guys that they expect can challenge defenses vertically, great speed. So they've got speed across the board at all 4 receiver positions. And that was a great job by Hicks making the catch and then doing the rest, taking it in for the touchdown. 8:41 to go in the 3rd, and it's a 44-6 lead now for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I really like what I see after the catch out of these kids. You see that move right there. Just does a little turn. It looks so subtle. He makes it look so simple. But the defender is coming hard, and he knows exactly where he is. Just puts a little juke move on him, goes to the outside, and there's just nobody else left to stop him.
Yeah, it's good instincts, I think, there, where he knows that once he sees Allen gambles like that, that he can make the quick move, and he's going to have an opportunity to tack on some yardage, and that's what he found with some running room right after Allen went for the interception but could not come up with the ball. On the kickoff, and a little lane now, and a big answer for the Vaqueros as it's Johnson into Saddleback territory, cutting it back at the 15. Johnson going to go all the way for a touchdown.
There you go. Johnson, one of those athletes we talked about for Glendale. He's got great speed.
Well, this is a good lane that Johnson finds, as we'll give you the replay. He takes it at about the 12, and right there, and then you get a sense of the Jets when you talk about Johnson. One final attempt there, and Johnson able to just slip out of it and cutting it back and taking it 88 yards. And we saw earlier, I believe it was Johnson who had the long return working his way all the way across the field. And he is an explosive athlete, and I don't think that's the last time that Glendale fans are going to see something like that this year.
No, Johnson looks very athletic. Cole looks very athletic. The quarterback, Garcia, looks very athletic. They're going to be just fine once they get into conference play.
So that breaks the Saddleback run, as you talked about, Brad, as another kick is blocked, and that's great penetration again. So troubles continue in the kicking game for Glendale. They have missed both their extra points and had both of them blocked.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Saddleback special teams, they're going to get a star on their helmet next week if they have those. They've had a heck of a day. They've had a recovery, or they sacked the punter. They got 2 block kicks. They've done very well in kick coverage on the kickoffs. And
yeah, and it's I think it's apparent when you see there's a perhaps up front really telling the story, because the penetration is definitely there, and those kicks have had no chance.
Yeah, no.
To really even get off the ground, and that's a great job by all 11 guys executing. So the score now 44-12 after the Johnson kick return, 88 yards to the house.
Look at that camera view right there. That's special stuff from SoCal College Sports. You guys doing a heck of a job.
Yeah,
I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Mike Cepeda and Lorenzo Asuna on the camera down on the field. And they will break the huddle and come out with it 44-12. Bobcats back to receive. And it almost looked to me like that might be Andrew Wimmer back there. I'm trying to get the number. It's on the far side, as luck would have it. But we didn't see Wimmer on the drive. On the previous drive, it was Ashley and Farrell handling the carrying duties. Wimmer already over 100 yards in that first half.
Yeah, dark jerseys from way up here in the booth. They're tough to see a little bit, but that is Wimmer, I believe.
And some older eyes. He takes it at the goal line out to the 25, and he's tripped up just shy of the 30.
Whoa, are you saying
Late
my
flag
eyes
comes
are
in.
old? I caught that. What was that? Was that a shot at me, or are you talking about yourself?
Well, let's see. Who was the first guy who said he couldn't see? We got to be talking about me.
2 old Midwestern guys with bad eyes. How's that?
And you confirmed that it was Wimmer, so the good eyes, I guess, were. I think we could tell. We could tell who didn't know and who did know.
I got an eye for that stuff. How's that?
Right. Meanwhile, there is a flag on the return, so this will cost the Bobcats some yardage, as they'll mark it off from the 25 midway through this third quarter. 1 of 3 games on SoCal College Sports tonight. We do have coverage of Cerritos at home taking on Pasadena City College, and I'm looking to Mike to confirm, but I believe it's College of the Canyons taking on Antelope Valley College as well on SoCal College Sports, and it's a thrill to be back, and certainly here in Saddleback, a beautiful new Saddleback Stadium, but also 2 other games going on as well, as we give you just a quick look in and see that, just showing me here on another monitor, Cerritos leading 22-3 in the third quarter over Pasadena City College. And we'll see if Mike's going to get the other one on the browser for me, and he is.
I'm going to bring up some other scores for you.
College of the Canyons all over Antelope Valley College, 37-0, and COC continues to ascend, one of the top programs in the 3C2A as well, and we're getting a look at another one of them here tonight in Saddleback. But it's getting crowded at the top. A lot of teams vying at the top of that SCFA. Wimmer on the carry. He is hit at the line and driven back. It'll be a loss of a yard. And it was Garcia leading the way, getting a little help from Shandon Pittman. And it's 2nd down and 11.
Give you some other scores, Jeff, from earlier today. Long Beach beat LA Harbor 32-0. El Camino jumped all over Santa Monica 52-14. Other scores down south, East LA, a big win, 70-8 over Compton.
2nd down and 11, and flags down on the snap, so the Bobcats will back themselves up a little bit more. And that now is 12 penalties in the game. Well, you knew Coach Gary Crabb, no matter what the score was here, he was going to have some things to work on. There's no way. They weren't going to find something, but that's something they'll obviously be thinking about moving forward as the penalties start to become more of a factor. 2nd down and 22, coming back to get it is Barry. Slips a tackle, but he is tracked down from behind at the 40. And that is enough for a 1st down, so that will move the chains as Barry with another reception, and Nash really starts to settle in, and now it starts to really be a dual attack. We saw the running game earlier, but Nash continues to settle down, and he has thrown the football very well tonight, no question about it.
Yeah, he got into a comfort zone about, 3-4 minutes into the second quarter, and he's never gotten out of it.
They'll keep it, or the read option, terrific fake, and it's Nash who will keep it, and he lowers the shoulder out to the 48-yard line.
I think we got a new quarterback in the game, Owen Easley, if I'm
Is that
not
Owen
mistaken.
Easley? Okay, yep. Well, it looks a little bit different as it was Easley who has come on. And Easley becomes the second quarterback of the night. We briefly mentioned DJ Ralph, who is right now slated as the primary backup. But again, the bounce back from New Mexico State, Ralph battling an injury right now, not available tonight. So we see Owen Easley. And this, you would imagine, will be one of several substitutions that we'll see down the stretch here as there's an opportunity for Coach Kerry Crabb and his staff to get a look at a number of players. Easley looking and throws and finds Berry again. Berry hit immediately and dropped at the 40. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
Well, new quarterback, new players, same result. Speaking of results, other ones, final in OT, Allen Hancock 17-14 over Santa Barbara. Big game up north today, San Mateo, one of the top teams in the state and the country. They're up 38-5 in the waning seconds of that game.
They and Riverside topping the early season rankings.
Got a big battle. I was out in Orange County with Golden West and Orange Coast. Golden West up 24-0 that game late in the 3rd now.
Meanwhile, Roebuck with the reception on the pass from Easley, and now it's Easley who's coming in throwing the ball very well. He found Berry on a couple of passes. One, I believe, was erased on a penalty, but there finds Roebuck. But again, here come flags.
Saddleback's opponent next week, Mount Sac. They're up 42-0 in the 2nd quarter on LA Valley.
3rd down and 9. Easley with a straight drop over the middle and overshoots his target looking for Maxwell.
That's really the first time we've seen that play all day from Saddleback. Everything has been pretty much underneath. They finally take a shot downfield over the middle, easily just a little off the mark.
Yeah, that was going to be a tough ball to squeeze in there. The coverage was pretty good trying to find Maxwell. So perhaps just as well, if you're a Bobcat fan, that pass was a little off the mark. And the Vaqueros will get it back. An opportunity here to try and pull a little closer, make it a little more respectable on the scoreboard. Trailing by 32.
I'm ready for another big play by the special teams, Jeff. What do you think?
Well, that's what we've seen a lot. 3 blocked kicks.
That's
a kick return for a touchdown. This one taken by Johnson. Running left, trying to get the edge, and he's just tripped up out past the 20. They'll spot it at the 21.
Really nice looking punt there.
Yeah, 45 yards and a 6-yard return. Under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Well, the word that we got was that we would see Nicholas Garcia and we would also see Chase Center, but so far it's been Garcia who's gone the route. Let's see if a quarterback change for Glendale is in the cards at any point, but no, it looks like Garcia is going to head out and lead this offense once again.
Saddleback, a number of new numbers out there for themselves, though. I see in the game for the Bobcats. Colin Robertson out there. Caden Robertson, rather, sorry. Also in the game for the Bobcats, Nathan O'Rourke. Angelo Rooks out there, just to name a few.
Armstead hit and dropped after a gain of a yard.
Brian Patterson on the right end.
And they're going to say that actually Armstead even lost a yard. So 2nd down and 11. Armstead, the leading rusher. 36 yards on the ground after that carry. Blitz coming. Garcia dumps it out in the flat and completes. Short gain out to the 24. A gain of 3 will bring up 3rd down and long.
I also like the big fella in the middle there, number 66, Shane Robertson. Funny little story. Robertson was joking around with one of his buddies. I just happened to listen in by the elevator here at the stadium. He says, I gained 14 pounds. I don't know how I did that.
Well, when a few years pass, it's not hard to figure out how you gain 14 pounds. It's not too difficult.
Good looking player, though.
Yeah. Well, he was probably talking about muscle, and that's not quite as easy to do, even at the younger age. Garcia in trouble, going to tuck it and run. And he is spun down shy of the first down. He got out to the 29. That's a gain of 4, but it brings up a 4th down and 4.
I tell you what, Sharp Robertson, the guy we were talking about, he just got held big time on that play. He's looking around at the official. He's shaking his hand going, hey, how do you miss that one?
Probably wondering is that you guys don't seem to have any trouble throwing flags against us. I've seen a few of those this game. So on 4th down, here comes the Glendale punting unit, and Andrew Kazanian on to punt, and he has had an eventful night. Had some trouble on a snap earlier in the punt formation, but also had a couple of extra points blocked as well. So it's been a struggle. High snap, but he comes down with it and gets this kick away. Going to take a Glendale bounce inside the 35, down to the 34. That is a kick of 37 yards with no return and with 3:20 to go. Bobcats will get it back.
Saw some frustration out there down around the 27-yard line, some extracurricular between the two teams, and I think the referees decided to pick up the flag and move forward. No, maybe not. They're discussing it.
Was it down on this side of the?
No, it was right down there at the 27.
Okay.
Dead even with our view here up in the booth.
All right.
Oh, there it is. It's going to be a personal foul against Saddleback. There was 2 Saddleback guys, and there was 1 Glendale guy.
Well, it's going to cost Saddleback 15 yards, I believe.
Let's see if it's a post-possession foul.
Yeah, it's it looks like they are going to mark it off, and the Bobcats will retain possession. But it's surprising, and sometimes, a lot of times in those kind of mild fisticuffs type of situation, you usually see flags thrown on both sides. But that one, evidently, a little more clear cut on one side.
Yeah, somebody might have said something too. You never know.
Yep.
That wouldn't be me. You'd never hear me saying anything, Jeff.
No, you're a class guy.
A clean class guy.
Right, that's it.
Midwestern guy.
Yeah, you're classing up the joint here. That's why we bring you in. So 1st and 10 now. The football resting on the Saddleback 18-yard line. Maxwell in motion. They give it to Maxwell on the sweep. Looks to cut it back at the 25, out to the 30. And finally forced out of bounds, but not before he picks up 13 yards. Good enough to move the chains. Darius Maxwell.
Good looking run there on the outside. Maxwell has got the ability to bounce it outside. And what I like about all these backs is they seem that they enjoy contact. I mean, they are not looking to duck anybody.
They continue with 4 wide receivers, 3 to the near side, and some movement and another flag coming.
4 guys moved. The center didn't. That's never a good sign.
Lonely feeling out there, I think, if you're the center on that play.
He's looking around at everybody else. He's saying, what were you guys thinking?
All right. Everybody got it wrong but me. That's going to be the story. 1st and 15. Easily. Dumps it out and completes. And running room, 1st down yardage for Anthodius Ashley on the reception.
We had a good view of that one. You could see right away when that ball was complete that had a chance of going the distance there.
Check that. That's Jamari Farrell in 23 and 22. So apologies. It was Farrell.
Get the bird's eye view right there. I mean,
just out in the flat. And, yeah, good cutback. Able to run out of a couple of arm tackles and move the chains, and a penalty on top. We'll move the ball all the way into Glendale territory at the 41-yard line of Glendale. 2:38 remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the Bobcats back on the move.
1-2, 1-2, 1-2. Nice shot. 1.
And they'll go back to the jet sweep. And a good cutback again, and more running room for Saddleback. Another 1st down. That was Nino Ramigo on the carry.
Kerry Crabb paying homage to the ex-coach Mark McElroy with that play right there. That was a McElroy special. You saw that a lot around here for a number of years. It was always effective.
Used to good effect on a few occasions already here tonight. And that time Ramigo able to get a 1st down.
Uh-oh.
Read option and some trouble. The ball is loose, easily trying to recover, and it looked like he did. But he will lose yardage back to the 33. That's a loss of 6.
Easily a little fortunate there as the defender came through. He was carrying the ball a little bit loose, and Salt de la Cruz knocked it loose. Fortunately, easily pounced on it. Pounce, you like that? That's a Bobcat term, right?
That's apropos, if nothing else. In fact, let's just agree right now that they will not recover a fumble all year. They will pounce.
They will pounce on the
any
ball.
fumbles.
That's right. By the way, I've got a little trivia here for you.
Fumbles lost and fumbles pounced upon will be the official stat line. Okay, I'm ready. Throw over the middle, incomplete. As easily overshoots his target. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
I looked up this term myself. A pack of Bobcats is called a clouder. How's that?
All right.
A clouder of Bobcats.
Well, and again, it's these are the kinds of things that you will have to know moving forward.
Useless knowledge is what I call it, Jeff.
I mean, if the team name is Bobcats, there it is. There's your mandate now is to become
Fear the clouder.
Something of a feline expert. Meanwhile, another penalty against Saddleback will move it back, and now it's 2nd down and about forever. Easily trying to set up the screen, and does. A lot of running room up the middle. This one's going to go for another Saddleback touchdown. Well designed, well executed.
You know, they've tried that play 4 or 5 times here tonight, and the timing has been a little bit off. We saw guys drop the ball.
How about this? It's Kalen Coates who did drop one earlier, this exact play.
This was
and how
perfect.
about the redemption?
That's perfect right there.
For the same guy on the same play, and this time gets another opportunity, secures that football, and then turns on the Jets and takes it in for the touchdown with a minute to go.
Kerry Crabb's got 50 on the board in his first game. I bet he's feeling pretty good about that.
Well, this is certainly a test passed, I think, for Saddleback, with a couple of very, very tough games coming up. Hey, you get the team here, and you got to feel like probably in a pretty good mindset. Plenty of success in all phases of the game. They've run the ball well. They've passed the ball well. They're defending well. And they've made some big plays on special teams, and I think you can't ask for a whole lot more.
Yeah, and I think maybe most importantly in a game like this now, they're getting a lot of new uniforms out there, too. A lot of kids going to get some playing time so that when they get out there against the Mount Sacks and the Riversides and the Fullertons, that the speed of the game doesn't surprise them.
Personal foul going to go against Glendale. They will assess that on the kickoff. Take a quick break, come back. You're watching Saddleback College Football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. After the personal foul penalty, they'll tee it up at midfield. A chance here for Connor Grace.
My wife listening at home, by the way, an English teacher, she's going to be thrilled with that clouder usage.
Well, I suppose it's the only way she could have been more thrilled, as this one will be downed in the end zone for the touchback, and Glendale will take over. The only way I suppose she could have been more impressed is if she was a veterinarian, and I suppose that would have also been impressive.
Yes, sir. What's been impressive tonight, though, that has stood out all night long, is the special teams. They've been off the charts. That kickoff there was, 1 yard from the back of the end zone, couple block kicks.
Yep.
Pounced on a fumble, on a bad snap, on a punt. And kick returns have been solid. Kick defense has been great.
And now we do have the change, and this is center that will come on at quarterback. His first appearance tonight gives to Bailey, running left, and a gain of 3. So a It's Chase Center out of Crescenta Valley. The freshman comes on. And the scouting report we got on Chase Center is a right-handed Tim Tebow.
Okay.
So let's. And I don't know if that means that he's going to play some at tight end before the game is over. I guess that could be. I guess that could be part of it. We don't know exactly what they meant. It was a little cryptic, as they keep it on the ground with Bailey again, and he's out to the 27. That'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Both teams been pretty solid on 3rd down, incidentally, here tonight. Both up over 50%. 3rd down conversions. And for Glendale, again trailing 51-12 as the 3rd quarter will run down and out. You'd really like to just try and sustain a drive or two, a couple of drives maybe in this 4th quarter, get a little momentum going as they move forward with their season.
I just got a message from our soccer coach, B.J. McNichol. He says, our team meeting room in the stadium is now known as the Clouder Room. How's that?
Well, you really move the needle out there, don't you? I didn't realize that you had this kind of sway when you said something.
My phone is blowing up. My mother sent me a message. How's that?
I don't know why that would surprise me. Of course, you move the needle when you say things, but you're making big changes here. I'll tell you what, you're starting to delve into the territory here where you might need to be a little bit careful about what you say. You might inadvertently move the needle in some way. This might become. There's a man named this whole stadium the Clouder Den. Before you know, and now you've changed the name of the whole stadium.
The things that you do when it's 51-12, right?
What's up, dude?
We'll keep it here as they'll get ready to start the 4th quarter with a 3rd down and 4 from the 32-yard line. The Bobcats getting their 2021 season underway here tonight and leading it big. Glendale, for their part, this is their opener as well. And they will be off next week before returning in week 3. So 3rd down and 4. And Chase Center and the Vaquero offense back on. Pistol formation. Now they'll empty the backfield. Center fakes now on the keeper. Lowers the shoulder. And there's a look at a little Tebow as he runs it himself out to the 35. That is good enough to move the chains.
I think Glendale just content now running the ball. Saddleback, I don't think you're going to see much more passing from this point forward. I think both teams just kind of want to get out of here healthy.
Yeah, and that was something that Coach Farwell was very upfront about as his team was coming in and had not played at all, as in nobody has over this last year, and said that right now one of the big things is we want to just get that conditioning in, get our players through, and get ready moving forward with our season. And Saddleback already battling. Excuse me, a couple of injuries in their secondary. And we talked about DJ Ralph, the backup quarterback, also not available. So both teams right now, and especially in this situation, really want to just get through and get ready for their next game. Center looking deep and incomplete double coverage on Nick Johnson.
Yeah, a lot of new jerseys out there. Tim Jones out there now, kid out of Buena in Arizona. Also 58, Tyler Hermanson. Give a couple shout-outs to some of the new kids out there. Mom and Dad are watching out there on SoCal College Sports.
And Jones is someone who really figures in the plans this season as part of that linebacking core. So expect to see him. He was another one of that transfer class from College of the Desert.
J.C. Hunter out there at free safety.
3rd down and 9 for Glendale. Center working from the pistol. 3 wide receivers to the right. Low snap, but he comes up with it. Again, trying to set up the screen. Hit in the backfield. Still on his feet, but not going anywhere. That is going to be a loss of perhaps a yard on the play. That play was in trouble right from the start. Elijah McGee with his first touch. And he was in trouble from the outset. It's going to bring up 4th down and 10 as he lost a yard back to the 35.
So you got a bunch of new guys out there for Saddleback. They're hungry. They're like, it's my opportunity right now.
Yeah. So that'll stall the drive. And we will see the Glendale punting unit with 13:27 to go here in the ball game.
Well, next week, Jeff, we'll be back here with Mount San Antonio College. And that's a rivalry that goes back a long ways. And that certainly is going to be a battle from start to finish.
Yeah, it's a rugged couple of weeks, and after that, it doesn't get a whole lot easier with Riverside. But we will be back here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, so we'll look forward to having that game for you. But certainly, the water gets deep very early in the season for this Bobcat squad, as it will be Mount Sac and then Riverside, and then as you alluded to earlier, not too long after that will be a game against Ventura, and that's another tough matchup.
Yeah, the non-conference schedule, when you get Riverside and you get, Ventura, and you get all the teams that you got in the first 3 weeks, it's a tough challenge.
Now the teams are back on the field. And we will see the punting unit. Well, maybe we won't see the punting unit. It's 4th down. But it's Chase Center who's back out on the field. And is it possible that Glendale will line up and go for it here on 4th and long?
Maybe a roll to kick.
Yeah, I'm getting the word there. Yeah, it could be a quick kick. Let's see what happens. On 4th down and 11 from the 34. Nope, center. Straight drop. Looking left, in some trouble. Now going to try and run, but he is pursued and caught at the 35. That is going to be well shy of first down yardage, a gain of a yard, but it will turn the ball over to the Bobcats. Great job in coverage and pressuring the quarterback, as it was the aforementioned Jones leading the charge, as Timothy Jones able to wrap up Chase Center after a run of 2 yards. And the ball will be going back to the Bobcats as Glendale turns it over on downs. Owen Easley will remain in the game at quarterback. 2 tight end set. Snap to Easley. They'll keep it on the ground on 1st down around the edge. More solid yardage on the ground. It's Jack St. Fleur making his first appearance in the backfield. And he takes it down to the 27. That's a 9-yard run on 1st down. And it will bring up 2nd and short. As St. Fleur becomes, let's see, about the 10th player to have a carry in this game. Play action, looking in the flat. And that one incomplete. That pass looked like it was intended for Seth Lyon. Out on the left side, he juggled but could not find the handle. So now it's 3rd down and 1, back to St. Fleur. St. Fleur cutting it back, has running room. He's inside the 15, another move at the 10, down to the 5, in for the touchdown. What a sensational run by Jack St. Fleur, as he starts out right and then makes a couple of sensational moves. And we will watch the replay. And watch here, just a little cut there. He's at the 20, and then one more move right there, and he picks up a good block and takes it the rest of the way, Jack St. Fleur. And some good downfield blocking, and now it's 57-12. So for St. Fleur, that's a touchdown run of 27 yards, and it's the 6th rushing touchdown of the game for Saddleback. And again, Kerry Crabb talked about more of a commitment specifically to running the football, and you can't draw too much just from one game. One game is one game, but obviously it's a good start for Saddleback, as they have really been able to impose their will in the ground game really from the outset in this one. And we'll see how that goes moving forward over the next few weeks against the opponents yet to come for the Bobcats. 12:09 to go. It's now 58-12 in favor of Saddleback. You're watching Bobcat football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Fifty-eight 12, 12:09 to go. They kick away. Taken at the goal line. Out to the 10, in big trouble. Great coverage for the Bobcats. This one's going to be a short return and terrible field position to start for the Vaqueros. That was Caleb Snowden on the return, and that's going to be about 6 or 7 yards. Let's see where they end up spotting it. Might give him forward momentum, and they will out to the 10. So that's a 10-yard return. And 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line for Glendale. And the second series for young Chase Center at the helm. Center with a straight drop, good protection, throws over the middle and completes. Big hit out at the 14-yard line. And we'll slow this one down for you. Well, that was a tremendous job in the middle, and that was Calvin Tubbs from his linebacker spot who had that one measured. Good job holding on to the football. It's a 4-yard gain on 1st down and a 2nd down and 6 coming up. Blitz coming. Play action. Center throws nearly picked off, but he squeezes it in and completes it out near the 1st down marker. That pass caught by Carson Cardenas out of John Burroughs High School with the reception. Good enough for a 1st down, so back-to-back completions and a fresh set of downs for Glendale as we wind down to 11 minutes remaining in the game. All Saddleback leading at 58-12. Center going back over the middle, and that one off the hands and incomplete, nearly picked off. Tubbs got his hands on it, but he trapped it. The pass intended for David Beck, excuse me. Couldn't find the handle. 2nd down and 10. 3 wide receivers to the left for the Vaqueros. Bobcats come with the blitz. Good move by Center. Looking for some open field. He'll slide down just shy of the 30 at the 29. That's a run of 8 yards, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. So, 3rd and 2 for Glendale. As it's Elijah McGee on in the backfield again. Snap to center, and the give to McGee up the middle. He's got the first down and more breaking tackles. He's out to the 40-yard line. A run of 12 yards and a first down for the Vaqueros. That's good hard running by McGee. Finally brought down by Gavin Rabb. So the drive continues. And the Vaqueros in no particular hurry. As center will look to the sideline and get the play. Comes out in a 3-wide receiver set. McGee on the carry again, and he runs into a wall after a gain of perhaps a yard. A trio of Saddleback tacklers leading the way. Tubbs among the first to get there, along with Rabb. And they did give McGee credit for about a yard. Call it 2 even. Second down and 8. Down to 9 minutes. Another blitz coming. Pressure from the blind side, but center senses and able to slither away. Slides down out near the 45. They'll spot at the 44. That's a pickup of a couple. And 3rd down and 6 coming up. And that's a great job. That's great awareness by Chase Center, as that pressure was coming from the backside. But he was able to sense it, tuck that ball, and at least pick up a couple of yards rather than taking the sack.
I had to step away for a few minutes there. My responsibilities of my job took over there. I guess I missed a score, huh, Jeff?
Hey, we're thankful to have you for as much as we have you. McGee in trouble in the backfield, hit and drop for a loss. Yes, it was a terrific job. This time it was Jack St. Fleur getting into the act with a 27-yard touchdown run, and it was a terrific effort by St. Fleur. And some good blocking up front. But the ground game continues to be the story for Saddleback in this one. 6 rushing touchdowns in the game. And it's come from a few different places. We'll give you the replay here. Or show you. Okay. Thought we had it queued up, but we're not going to go back to that one. Instead, live here, 4th and 7. Center, again, under pressure, looking for a lane, and he will slide down. He's going to be a little bit shy of first down yardage. So center on that one electing not to take on, as we'll go back to the replay now. But it was Elgin Diaz and center sliding down rather than Diaz taking the shot.
I feel important around here. You
Right,
know,
I
I
give
tell
you
you
that.
guys I missed a play, and all of a sudden Mike Zapata just cues the thing up
Yeah,
like nothing.
we can't have you not seeing the effort of Jack St. Fleur on that one. Meanwhile, a turnover on down, so midway through the 4th, it'll go back to Saddleback, and they'll have it at the Glendale 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Jack St. Fleur staying in the game at tailback, and he gets the call here and a gain of a couple. Meanwhile, Nicholas Hill becomes the 3rd quarterback of the game.
Golden West now leading 24-0 that game midway through the 4th at Orange Coast. Good start for the Rustlers. That's another league opponent for Saddleback, and
always a tough opponent.
yeah, they've gotten appreciably better here in the last 7-8 years. Mount Sac now up 51-0 on LA Valley. That's not a lot of fun if you're the Monarchs.
Movement on the right side, another false start penalty, and really about the only drama left in this one is how many penalties are we going to see for Saddleback. It's the number grows, and if there's perhaps one mark that maybe has just that slight tinge of needs improvement for Saddleback in this one, it might be the penalty count. This one thrown in the flat, nearly intercepted. And that was Max Sacedo, and he was positioned perfectly on that ball, and it was lucky that the throw from Hill was a little bit high.
You know, I know these coaches pretty well. They're all competitive, and the score is 58-12. And if you were to ask them how the game went, I can almost inevitably the first thing they're going to say is we got a lot to work on. I mean that's just the way they're wired. And
Yep.
16 penalties, 121 yards. That I can guarantee you that's not something they're going to be happy about. And here's another
Flags all over the place in the backfield. This is likely to be coming back, but it's Hill all the way down the left side. More flags come in the defensive secondary. Hill takes it all the way to the house, but you got to believe this is coming back. There's a couple of flags down in the Saddleback backfield, and that's where you would expect to see holding. Well, let's wait and see what the call was, but that's a terrific job by Hill, who shows some pretty good feet. But it will not yield points. And there is the call to block in the back. Is one call and then holding the other one. So two infractions on Saddleback on that play, and the touchdown will come back, and instead it will be 3rd and longer for the Bobcats.
total yardage in the game right now. Saddleback 5 1/4. That's a pretty solid night. Glendale 132. Yeah, Saddleback's been pretty effective here over the last 2.5 quarters of this game. 1.5 quarters rather. Maybe 2 quarters.
Hill with the snap. Rolls away from pressure, throws, and it's incomplete. It looked like it was through the hands of Daniel Stokes, the intended target. And that'll bring up 4th down, and on comes the punting unit.
Good balanced attack, though, for Saddleback. 274 on the ground so far, 251 through the air.
Yep. And I think it's, again, we go back to what Kerry Crabb talked about, a young offensive line and wanting to see how they would do taking this step up to the next level. And could they slow the game down and protect the quarterback and establish the run game? And I think the answer is an emphatic yes in this one on those 2 counts. And so that's where you want to be. And we'll see, as has been some of the theme of the night, that challenge is going to get a little tougher in the next couple of weeks. A lot of contact on the kick. Here comes the flag.
Fumble on the kick as well, I think.
Yeah, on the other end, and this is certainly going to be a penalty on the kick. And probably give you a look at this one again. It was Dylan Widener.
Good combination for Saddleback tonight of the ability to methodically move the ball down the field, but they also had, we saw little bits and pieces of that explosiveness that you're going to want down the stretch of the season as well.
So they're announcing again a couple of penalties, and the roughing the kicker will give the automatic 1st down.
That's a big one there for Glendale. I mean, I know the game is well in hand, but certainly you don't want to give the ball back to the other team.
They talk about that there, and it's, obviously in this one, the result of the game doesn't hang in the balance, but again, it's something that I'm sure Coach Farwell and his staff want to work on in terms of remaining focused in the situation, because that's a 4th and 23 in a game where the outcome is in doubt. That's a game changer right there. Maybe give a team another chance, and it's the kind of penalty that you really don't want to take.
It's a learning opportunity, isn't that what they call it at this point?
Right, yeah. A teachable moment?
Yes, that's the one I was looking for.
There we go. So the Bobcats will get it back. 1st and 10. Misdirection and a handoff running right inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. More good yardage on the ground. Eight-yard run will bring up a 2nd down and 2.
Good start for Kerry Crabb and the Bobcats here in 2021. Crabby, as they call him around here. And it's not because he's a crabby. He's actually a pretty jovial guy.
That was my experience in our conversation. Donald Stewart, meanwhile, down on the field for Glendale, so they'll take a look at him.
Got to feel pretty good for him. Hasn't been head coach in quite some time, and step over your first game, you get a big W, 58-12 now, late 4th. But as I said earlier, the coaches, I know these guys, and the first thing I'm going to say is we got a lot to work on, man. We got a lot.
Well, what's the alternative? Hey guys, great game. No practice this week.
There you
What
go.
can I tell you? You've got it.
Popsicles. We'll
you've-
have popsicles.
You've got it down. Well, there's nothing left to teach. So I think, yeah, you gotta harp on the things that you can continue to work on. I'm sure there's always something. As Nicholas Hill back in shotgun formation has the snap. They keep it on the ground with Ashley. And he picks his way forward inside the 35 down to the 34. A gain of 4 on 2nd and 2 will move the chains. So 1st and 10 for the Bobcats as we wind down toward 5 minutes to go in this one. Of course, a lot of people to thank. Dan Kloss, certainly here at Saddleback College. And I want to say thanks also to Chris Sacudo and as well for
How about
helping
Matt Broday?
yeah.
Matt Broday is the guy that spends long hours around here trying to get
absolutely.
the wires.
Help on multiple days, helping us to get set up. Of course, Brad Hoyseth joining us on the broadcast, and always great to have you here with us as well, Brad.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
You know?
I've expanded my knowledge of the animal kingdom as well, so that's always a plus. 2nd down and 1.
We are a higher education institution there, you know. So we try to teach. Everything is a teachable moment, right?
Good to see you embracing that as always. Meanwhile, it's 3rd down and 1 as Hill was unable to find 1st down yardage. Do want to thank both coaches for taking some time this week to have conversations with us. Tanner Farwell over at Glendale College had a delightful conversation with Coach Farwell about his program and where they're going. And then, of course, Kerry Crabb took some time out as well and really enjoyed our conversation, learning about some of the players coming in for Saddleback this year. So we know both those guys incredibly busy, but we really appreciate that they took the time to talk with us a little bit about these terrific young players that they have playing for them, as we want to shine a spotlight on the job that the guys are doing down on the field.
Shout out to a few new guys out there. The mom and dad probably watching out there. Bryce Kreider, big tight end. 82, John Jennings out there at wide receiver.
Hill looking to throw on the left off the hands and incomplete.
Simeon Martin there on the attempted catch.
Martin had the hands on it, but that would have been a sensational grab. Well, that brings up 4th down.
Eric Maciel out there at right tackle. Jacob Hubbard at right guard. I think we got a new the center in there is Logan Lopez. Left guard out there for the Bobcats. William Savar. I think it's pronounced Savar.
Meanwhile, we do have yet another penalty. This one going to go against Glendale on 4th down. And that's a big call, and yet another drive extending penalty on Glendale on this last drive. We saw the roughing the kicker that gave it back to the Bobcats, and now on 4th down when they had another stop, another penalty moves the chains and another chance for the Bobcats to tack on some more points. Ashley leapfrogging a tackler inside the 15.
Another big
That'll be
fella that I want to talk about, the big left tackle in there right now. Impressive looking kid, number 70, Maurice Rodriguez.
Watch Ashley.
6'6", 3.25 out of Pasadena. They have high hopes for him as this season moves on.
I got to tell you, you can never really assume these kind of things, but how does Anthodius Ashley not run the hurdles? That was unbelievable.
There's a good shot of our cheer team, our pep squad, if you will.
Yeah, you talk about how many players came out for the football team after the year off.
Good
I'll tell
turnout.
you, the pep team. I've been here before. That's a big team as well. They have a good turnout.
Yeah, Denise Harris always does a great job down there with the with the squad.
Yeah, that squad hasn't gotten any smaller. I think with the year off, that is a that is a big pep team, and they have no shortage of participation as well on that side. Meanwhile, it's 3rd and 1 and a timeout on the field. 3 minutes exactly remaining in the game. Bobcats leading at 58-12. You're watching Saddleback College Football at SoCalCollegeSports.com. First and goal from the 9. Bobcats looking for one more as they lead at 58-12. Ashley remains in the game in the backfield behind Nicholas Hill. As the snap, and they'll give it to Ashley. Straight ahead inside the 5 before he is twisted down.
It's just man on man out there right now. Saddleback just running the ball pretty exclusively now. Last thing you want to do is rub it in somebody's face and start throwing it around when you're up, by 46 points. They're just going to run it, and if they manage to get to the end zone, they do, but I don't think they're going to be in any hurry.
Anthodius Ashley, the only running back that was here in 2019, so he returns to the Bobcats. And he is part of the committee that has had a big night here in the opening week.
Yeah,
and
I like
instead
that.
Hill is just going to go ahead and take a knee
rather
rather than even running another play. And they'll just let the clock run down. This will be 3rd down. So the Bobcats will huddle up on 3rd down. And Hill will just go ahead and take another knee. And 4th down, and they'll let this one run down under a minute to go. And
Really nice stuff. Carries crowd there. I like seeing that.
yeah, you would assume here that they won't even bother to kick, but rather will just give the ball over. And then we'll see if Glendale will elect to run any plays themselves. As this one will wind down. Again, a reminder, here on SoCalCollegeSports.com, we'll be back here a week from tonight. Saddleback back in action. They'll be taking on Mount San Antonio College, and we'll have that game here for you. Part of at least another doubleheader. I believe it's another tripleheader on SoCalCollegeSports.com. And, of course, you can always see our full schedule on our site, www.SoCalCollegeSports.com. Also, check out our YouTube channel, SoCal College Sports 1 on YouTube, and you can see all of our previous broadcasts. You can rewatch those at any time, or at least as long as YouTube exists. And, of course, you can get a sense of upcoming games. There'll be players in place for upcoming games on our YouTube channel as well. We'll have more Saddleback coverage in addition to Ventura College coverage, College of the Canyons, Antelope Valley College. Very excited to be part of 3C2A football again. Glendale not going to run any more plays. They'll let the time run out, down to 0-0. It's a final 58-12. The Bobcats with the win over the Glendale College Vaqueros here in Week 1 on SoCalCollegeSports.com. We'll step aside, come back, and wrap things up from Saddleback Stadium. You are watching Saddleback College football here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Final score from Saddleback Stadium, 58-12. The Bobcats take this one over Glendale. 1-0 on the season and mission accomplished here in week one. We talked a little bit about penalty number maybe being a little higher than you would have wanted, but other than that, you got to think high marks across the board.
Yeah, no, first game of the year, if you can only find one or two things that stand out, I'm sure the coaches, they're a little more fine and technical on the play actually on the field.
Yeah.
You know, you already mentioned that I have bad eyes, so I can't see much, obviously. So
Listen, let's be very clear. Only one person here has bad eyes, and I think it's pretty well established who that is.
no, it's a great performance. I mean, it's exactly what you're looking for in week one. I didn't really see any substantial injuries or anything like that. The last thing you want to do is lose guys early on. I'm sure there's going to be guys that are nicked and dinged up going into next week, but certainly it was a good little warm-up heading into next week when you get Mount Sac.
Yeah, and on the other side for Glendale, this a program that has, coming back from some struggles, and it's been a bit of a wild ride, but, I think for Coach Farwell and his staff, they get a lot of what they wanted here, too. They get the guys back out there. They were pumped up to get some game action, and they'll have a lot that they can work on here, and they knew that this was a tough challenge, but I think if you ask Coach Farwell, based on my conversation with him, he's going to tell you that they got a lot of what they were looking for here. Some good experience playing this game, and they're going to get a sense of where they are and get themselves ready for the season. As you see down on the field, the Bobcats going to huddle up with Kerry Crabb, who wins his first game as the head coach here at Saddleback College, 58-12 the final.
That's a pretty good view right there. It's a heck of a job by Mike Cepeda tonight and yourself. And, we feel pretty special around here having you guys come in here and do this kind of thing.
Want to thank our team. That is Lorenzo Asuna on the camera down on the field, and he has been doing a terrific job tonight, along with our other production staff here, Angelo Ruiz and Jorge Cepeda, also on camera as well. And, of course, tonight's broadcast produced and directed by Mike Cepeda.
All right, well.
Yeah, want to keep it here on some of these images down on the field and give you a lot of chance to soak this in for a lot of the
look at that right there.
Yeah, we knew if we hung around, there's the visual that we wanted. And
that's what I was waiting for right there.
Yep, and I tell you, they sold it pretty well. That's a lot of guys to keep on the same page, and they gave no indication. Do we even have a replay of that? That'd be great.
There it is. Look at this.
Yeah, we're going to get that right there. Nobody, look at that. They're all looking away. Nobody could think anything about that. That is, I'll tell you, on a night of terrific execution, boy, it goes right down to even after triple zeros, because that was great execution on the Gatorade bath.
I tell you, was that great execution by the cameraman? I mean, that was wonderful.
And yet another memory for Kerry Crabb, and what a great first night this was for him at the helm here at Saddleback, and obviously congratulations there on the terrific win. For Saddleback. You got any final thoughts for us here?
No, I'm looking forward to another game next week. Mount Sac up. That's a big battle. Two teams that have a long history, and we'll see another chapter of it next Saturday.
Yeah, both teams. Mount Sac are well on their way to a win in their opener, so it's going to be a couple of 1-0 teams, and early on, a big matchup even in week 2 of this 2021 season. Football is back here in the 3C2A. Once again, the final score, Saddleback 58, Glendale 12 for everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com. So long, everybody.